Roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker-owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at bfgloans.com or call Spencer at 916-805-4868. Be sure and call for the investor special. And if you go to their website, bfgloans.com, you can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Folks, Spencer is awesome. Trust me. Again, I've known the guy since 2000. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Call 916-805-4868.
For more than 4 decades, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort has been trusted by home and business owners for their professional expertise in heating, air conditioning, and solar energy. Your home is your castle, and at Sierra Pacific, we thank you for 40 great years of trusting us to protect your castle. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, solar, heating, and air. SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Hello!
Hello, Sacramento.
Sacktown!
And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been?
You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
Time to begin!
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you had a fabulous holiday weekend. We get back at it to start the month of December. We've got the NFL. Unfortunately, we've got the NBA because that means I've got to talk about the Make 'em Feel as Kings, who check in with a mighty record of 5 up and 16 down. The Make 'em Feel as Kings have the worst point differential in the Western Conference at minus 11-1, and only the Washington Wizards are worse at minus 15.2. The Make 'em Feel as Kings now will turn their attention to a team that is really good. But at this point, what difference does it make whether the Kings are playing a team that's good or not? Like, really, like, it really matters? Doesn't matter anymore. The season's over. All right? The season is a disaster. Your first-round draft pick has been unbelievably disappointing. Your second-round pick has been much more of a bright spot, especially as of late. You've got a team that couldn't play 4 quarters of basketball if their lives depended on it. You've got veterans who every single person that watches the Kings, both locally and nationally, all right, knows that they can't play together. And yet Doug Christie keeps putting out the same lineup game after game after game after game. And yet we all know that it doesn't work. It's unbelievable to me. It just is. It is such a circus. It is such a dysfunctional franchise. It is such an embarrassment that, I mean this, I don't know why anybody would go to a game other than to see players on the other team. Yeah, occasionally you're going to get a good game like you had against Minnesota. But, I mean, for the most part, why would you go to a game? Seriously. Unless you really want to see a star on another team, why would you go? Why would you subject yourself to this awful basketball? Again, think about this. You're 5-16. 5-16. The only team worse in the West are the Pelicans at 3-18. I mean, it's embarrassing. There's just no other way to say it. It's an absolute embarrassment. And you hear the same thing game after game after game from the vets, from Doug. It's like a broken record. It's like, it's just, I don't even know what to say anymore other than what I said on my rant this morning. We've been through a lot of bad years together. Do you remember anything this bad? This bleak? This early in the season? I mean, that's what we're talking about. We just turned the calendar to December. Do you remember anything this bad, this early in the NBA season for the Kings? Give me a call. Text me, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Doug was asked recently, after a loss, do the Kings have an identity? And he didn't even hesitate. Our identity is to defend, rebound, and share the ball. What game is he watching? What team is he watching? That's your identity? No. That's the identity that in your dream at 4 a.m. you'd like to become. Your identity is not defending, rebounding, and sharing the ball. Okay? Like, that is not your identity. Here's your identity. You want to know what your identity is? Your team is inconsistent. Over long stretches, you don't defend. Over long stretches, you don't pass. Over long stretches, you do stupid things. You have players that don't know how to play with one another. You have veterans that have checked out for the most part. Your identity is that you're a mess. That's your identity. I mean, if you want to ask anyone that follows the Sacramento Kings, both locally and nationally, as fans and national members of the media who constantly talk about this and write about this, your identity is one of dysfunction. If you ask anyone that is an NBA fan and a member of the NBA media to finish this sentence, the Sacramento Kings identity is, you would complete that sentence by saying one of dysfunction. I mean, it's a joke. The Sacramento Kings identity is one of dysfunction. It's unbelievable. Seriously. And you thought that things were getting rough last year when they fired Mike Brown? Huh. Really? Could you imagine if Mike Brown were the coach right now? Do you think Mike Brown would still be coaching the team? And people go, gee, you've got it against Doug. This has nothing to do with Doug, other than what my eyes tell me. How's he still the coach of this team? And do I think it's all his fault? No, I do not. And I know it's not all his fault. But this is embarrassing. I mean, it just is. He is just so in over his head. I mean, can we just acknowledge that, please? Can we just stop with the nonsense? Okay? Like, it's the freaking NBA. It's not a grow on the job type of a thing. All right? It's the NBA. I mean, this is embarrassing. It really is. It's absolutely embarrassing. And you can't fire the owner, unfortunately. And you've got a GM that handed Doug a terrible roster in terms of being able to play with one another. You had a free agent signing that has been bitterly disappointing in Dennis Schroeder. You don't have Valanciunas, who could have really helped you. Your number one draft pick looks lost most time he's out on the floor. I mean, it's a disaster. And then you have a coach that's not a head coach, who's in over his head. I mean, where do you want to start with this? I mean, it's the same thing. Game after game after game after game, is it not? It's the exact same thing over and over and over again, and we hear the same nonsense after the games. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's an absolute joke. There's just no other way to say it. And I mean, if you want to look at the schedule, and I don't even know why I do read the schedule anymore, because, like, what difference does it make? Seriously. Like, I'm going to now say that the schedule is difficult? Really? You can't beat Memphis? And now I got to tell you that the schedule is difficult? You can't beat the Utah Jazz, who had 5 wins, and now I got to tell you, well, boy, the schedule's tough. At Houston, at Miami, at Indiana. You had 2 games added over the NBA Cup. The NBA Cup, please get rid of it. Then after the NBA Cup games, you have a home and home with Portland. Then you have Houston and Detroit. But, like, seriously, what difference does it make? What difference does it make what the schedule looks like? Do you think this team's going to win 20 games this year? I'm not exaggerating. Do you think the Sacramento Kings are going to win 20 games this year? Think about that for a minute. Do you see 15 more wins on the schedule without knowing any moves that may be made and everything else? Do you see 15 wins on the schedule? I'm not so sure that I do. Who are you going to beat? Washington, maybe? Well, you lost to them last year. Who are you going to beat? Now, I don't think they're going to end up with only 5 wins on the year. I do think they'll win some more games. But who are you going to, I mean, you really, all right, so let's say you win 20. You're winning 25? I don't see any way in the world they're winning 25. I really don't. So we'll talk about that at 916-779-0929. We will hear from Doug Christie and some of his comments after the game last night in just a little bit. But I wanted to talk about the NFL. You know, the 49ers, to me, I really give them a lot of credit. They're 9-4. They've been decimated by injuries to stars. And Kyle Shanahan is such a good coach. Robert Saleh is such a good coach. They go to Cleveland, short week, bad weather, and they roll, and they are 9-4. And I think this is a perfect time to have a bye. I think it is just absolutely perfect to have a bye. Then you come out of the bye and you have Tennessee. You've got the Colts, who all of a sudden are struggling. You got the Bears. I'm going to talk about them in a moment. And then you wrap up the year against Seattle. But if I'm looking at San Francisco and what they have accomplished this year with all of their injuries, and we knew they had an easy schedule coming in, relatively speaking, right? Boy, they get the most out of their players. I got to give Kyle Shanahan credit. I got to give Robert Saleh credit. They really do. They get the most out of their guys. And they're right there. I mean, do they win the division? They probably don't. I'm not ruling them out. I'm just saying they probably don't. And the reason why I'm not ruling them out, they have a tremendous record within the division at 4-1. So I can't rule them out. Even though the Rams lost against Carolina, Seattle beat Minnesota in an ugly game at 9-3. But I mean, listen, when I'm looking at the other teams in the NFC, the Niners are going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of whether they're going to win the division or not. All right, now we get to the Chicago Bears. Raise your hand if you had the Chicago Bears on December 1st at 9-3. I mean, what Ben Johnson has done there is unbelievable. They beat Philadelphia on Friday, 24-15. The Eagles are falling apart. But here's the deal with the Bears. They have a brutal finish to the schedule. Again, a horrible job by the National Football League in scheduling. They play the Packers 2 of the next 3 games. Just a terrible job by the NFL. At Green Bay, home Cleveland, home Green Bay, at San Francisco, home Detroit. Other than Cleveland, they may not win another game. So I'm not going to rip on the Bears because I can't. I give them a lot of credit for the year they're having. It's great for the NFL to have the Bears being relevant. It really is. But I'm just not still sold on the Chicago Bears. I'm giving them props. I'm speaking about them. I'm acknowledging how well this season has gone for them. But if I'm in the NFC, if I'm San Francisco, give me a playoff game against the Bears. I'd love that. I would love that. Seriously. Give me that matchup. The NFC South, completely up for grabs. 7-5 Tampa, 7-6 Carolina. We know the NFC West is up for grabs. The NFC North up for grabs. We're going to find out a lot this week with Chicago and Green Bay. I can't imagine Philadelphia not winning the division. That tie that Dallas has is going to hurt them because they're 2 back in the win column. Denver, again, wins a close game. They're 10-2. I have to acknowledge that. I mean, 10-2 is 10-2. I think they're very beatable. Jacksonville now taking advantage of a struggling Colts team, and guess what that schedule looks like? If you want to look at schedules, right? You want to see who might win the division? Look at that schedule coming up. And again, they haven't played the Colts yet. They've got the Colts this week, Jets, at Denver, at Colts, Tennessee at home. So that thing looks like it's going down to the wire. Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and oh yeah, by the way, there's a team in the Lone Star State called the Houston Texans. And they may have the best defense in football. And do not just count out the Houston Texans, who have awoken. They're at Kansas City, Arizona, the Raiders, at the Chargers, the Colts. Do you ever watch the Texans play? I mean that. Do you sit and watch this team play and how well they're playing defensively? And they've won 4 in a row. They've only given up 198 points. How good is that? That's really good. Nobody in the AFC East has allowed fewer than 225. No one in the AFC North have allowed fewer than 270. In the AFC West, no one has allowed fewer than 218. And the Houston Texans allowing only 198. That is the best in the NFL by a very good margin. The next closest team, the Rams, at 210. That is big-time defense. You do not want to play the Houston Texans right now with C.J. Stroud looking like he's really feeling comfortable after the concussion. The Texans, to me, keep your eye on them. Keep your eye on them. AFC North, completely up for grabs. I think Pittsburgh is going south. Aaron Rodgers once again calling out his receivers in the way that he does. 6-6 for the Ravens, 6-6 for the Steelers. Listen, do I think the Baltimore Ravens are any good? Not really. Do I think the Steelers are any? No. I mean, they're not. This is going to be a very fun month of December coming down the stretch. And then you have the New England Patriots at 10-2. And you have the Patriots playing tonight against the Giants with a chance to do what, again, I don't think anyone could have envisioned the New England Patriots to go to 11-2. And you have to wonder, like, why did Tennessee decide to part ways with Mike Vrabel? Would someone explain that to me, please? You want to talk about things that don't make sense? I mean, boy, start right there with that. You know what does make sense? DAS Mechanical. When it comes to your HVAC system, they are specialists in retrofitting and service. And you may say, holidays coming up, the last thing I want to do right now is retrofit my system, even though I need it. Yeah, well, you really should get on the calendar for next year and start the process and let DAS Mechanical go over all of your options. They will walk you through the process every step of the way, so you will always be informed of what they're doing. Family owned and operated. They serve Sacramento and Placer counties. Ideal for homeowners, businesses, for commercial maintenance. And, if you should need a new HVAC system, remember they have many financing options, including 0% for 18 months. That's right, 0% interest for 18 months with rebates available up to $6,000. Go to dasmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. You can schedule everything online. It is so simple. And then spend a moment or two or three and read all of their 5-star reviews and look at their numerous Best of the Best awards. That tells you everything you need to know about DAS Mechanical. Remember, HVAC retrofit and service specialist. They're awesome. When it comes to heating and air, dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org. 916-779-0929. My question as we go to the break, is this the worst that you can remember things being for the Kings this early in the season with a team that looks completely lost? Most nights getting embarrassed on the court. Do you remember it being this bad? Wow. That's saying something with the history of this franchise. That's saying something. Right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. At Bennett's, it's all about bold flavors and fresh handcrafted food served with genuine hospitality. Craving prime hand-cut steaks? We've got them. Fresh salmon, halibut, or giant Mexican prawns? We've got those too. At Bennett's, we serve premium seafood and steaks in a relaxed setting. Whether you're joining us for a special night out or a casual bite, we'll treat you like family every time. Find us in Sacramento, Roseville, and Rockland. View our menus and make a reservation at bennettsrestaurants.com.
The holidays are here, and Gabrud Services is here for any electrical need or emergency. Holiday periods put more stress on your home's electrical system, more activity, more lights being used, increased appliance use, and more. Here are 3 holiday electrical reminders from the good dudes at Gabrud's. 1, there's still time for Gabrud's to inspect your home's electrical integrity. 2, Gabrud's are the experts in backup generator installation with flexible financing options to make a whole house generator affordable. And 3, Gabrud's has live call answering 24/7. We're here any time of day, especially in case of an emergency. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. And at the holidays, we're here to ensure your home and family are safe. Locally owned for more than 30 years. Call Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Sacramento, we mean business.
Every freaking day.
Great sports talk doesn't take a day off.
Early bird gets the worm and all that.
Sacktown, it's the home of
Grant Napear.
Lock in, listen up, and stay right here.
And from Dan Patrick in the morning to Grant Napear on your drive home.
There's nothing like the power of live radio. Nothing.
This is Fox Sports Sacramento. 104.7 FM, 890 AM.
Who's canceled now?
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
916-779-0929 on the Grant Napear Show on this Monday, December 1. We get to Mike in Galt. Hello, Mike.
Grant, well, how's it going?
Mike, what's going on?
Well, a couple things. The Sacramento team, you know, it's hard for fans. It really is, because we love our team. Now, we had a fan basically get up and close with Zach LaVine. I've been saying that since last year, but I said, you know what? He's a king. If he brings his A game, along with the other players, the DeRozan, the Sabonis's. I mean, you got all these big names. You get nothing. But here's my question for you, Grant, and you're the one that worked this team, knows this team better than anybody in Sacramento. Back in the day, in the 90s, we had a good draft. I'll give you these names. Anthony Bonner, I might be off. Travis Mays, Dwayne Coswell, Lionel Simmons, the L Train. We love those guys. They played the game. They weren't big names. And then you have another draft. We need a Brian Grant. We need a Brian out loud. Or freaking Walt Williams. Somebody who can give us something to get behind. I'm trying hard to get behind these guys. But when you just take a dump and get big boyed by the Grizzlies who have nothing to play for, I mean, I just don't, I'm out of words.
I'm out of words too, and that's unfortunate because it's my job to come up with the words. And I am so, I got to tell you, like if I join a game a few minutes late or what have you, and I flip the game on after I'm a couple minutes late, or at halftime I'm a little late rejoining the game, and I see the Kings are leading, I'm like shocked. I'm like, wow, the Kings have a lead. It's been so rare, and I mean this season. Like, all right, let me put it to you this way: when's the last time the Kings had a double-digit lead in a game? Seriously,
I don't even know. But with the draft class, with the Travis Mays, the Anthony Bonners, the Bobby Hurleys, there was one class that everybody came at the same time. It was like a big deal. Do you remember that class?
Yeah, I remember, but that was not a good draft. That was not, those players were. It's not like it. Everyone was excited because they had the 4 first-round picks, and it was a different time back then. The place was jumping; it was sold out. Blah blah blah. But that's not exactly. That wasn't. Lionel Simmons ended up being the best player in that draft. Causey was a serviceable center, but that's not a draft that galvanized the team or anything. But I understand the point that the fans did get behind those guys. I would agree with that part.
It just seems like the Kings are bad at being bad. They can't win. I don't know. Like, for crying out loud, when are they going to draft right? I know last year kind of sucked.
Well, we can't say about this year's draft. It's too early. Max Reno is showing some promise. Nick Clifford, to me, has probably been one of the most disappointing rookies in the NBA through the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, based on summer league, based on preseason, I think Nick's been as disappointing as any rookie in the draft so far. So, Mike, Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you. Let's get to Michael in Sacramento. Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, Grant, how you doing?
Michael, what's going on?
Grant, I'm not the world's biggest Kings fan, but I've lived here for 30 years, and I'll tell you right now, the biggest problem is the front office and organization. I agree with you. It's not all Doug's fault. I don't think Doug's a leader of a star basketball team, but right now, I'm sorry, Russell Westbrook plays hard every night. He doesn't fit the team. DeMar DeRozan doesn't play a lot of D. He's an aging player, doesn't fit the team. Zach LaVine looks sometimes like he's disinterested. Yeah, he's got all the physical tools in the world, doesn't fit. Keegan Murray would probably be my favorite player on the Kings, and I think he's actually probably their biggest trade potential piece. They're undersized. They never have an athlete, and I would play all the young guys. What good does it do if these guys get 5 more wins than if you play all the young guys, Grant, and they have 5 less wins, but you get a pick a little bit higher? At least the city knows what they got in the young guys. You know what you got in Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Russ Westbrook. You know.
Hey, you're taking the words, you're preaching to the choir here. Listen, I have a difficult time criticizing Russell Westbrook because of the way the guy goes out and does his job.
He plays so hard.
I know. I have immense respect, but I said this the day they picked him up, and I've been saying this since. Having Russell Westbrook on this team makes absolutely no sense. Okay? And by the way, he has not been playing well at all lately, and he was dreadful yesterday in 20 minutes. And I, like you, admire his work ethic and everything else. But Russell Westbrook on the Sacramento Kings is one of the stupidest signings that this franchise has made in a long time. And I know full well that, his deal's not guaranteed this or, it's not a lot of money. I understand all of that. That's not the point. The point is this team does not need Russell Westbrook because it is stunting the growth of younger players. And listen, I can lose without Russell Westbrook just as easily as I can lose with Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook, bless his heart, is not part of the future of this franchise. So why are we wasting time using Russell Westbrook so much? It makes zero, with a capital Z, 0 sense. And I don't want to hear the crap that it's good for the young players. That is the biggest bunch of nonsense in the world, okay? Russell Westbrook should not be on the Kings. And I will also add one other thing, Michael, and then I'll let you go. Do Russell a favor. Call him into your office and say, listen, we're releasing you because at this point in your career, you deserve to be on a real basketball team. Somebody will pick him up. He'll be signed, and let him enjoy the last part of his basketball career playing for a professional basketball team. Do that to Russell, would you please?
I couldn't agree with you more, Grant. And I will say this, and I'll end on this one. I know Doug's your old partner on the radio, and I used to listen to you guys when you were on there, and I actually think he does some decent things. I don't love him as definitely running the team. I think he's a yes man. I'll be honest with you. You could tell me I'm wrong. And I think Vivek needs a man that stands up to him and knows basketball because he flat out shouldn't be running a team.
Thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate your call. 916-779-0929 on the text line. Grant, I'm a Kings fan, but I honestly stopped watching the games this past month. I just tuned in watching your post-game show, and not watching the games has helped my mental health. I'm not wasting my time and money on this team. What an embarrassment for us Kings fans. That's from the 209. 916. Grant, going back to the Kings, I agree the season is over. So what motivation do players have to continue to compete in every game? The motivation is that they're professionals and they sign a professional contract and they're making a lot of money. Your motivation is your work ethic. Your motivation should not be determined by whether you're on a team that wins or loses. Your motivation should be you look in the mirror and say, you know what? I owe it to the people that are paying me and the people that are using their good earned money to watch me play to do the best that I can. That's your motivation. It's called pride. It's called pride. Seriously. That's what it is. It's pride. It drives me crazy. It really does. And I feel so bad for the Kings fans. And I talk about this. I mean, how many years have I had to talk about how I feel bad for the fans? And listen, I don't think anybody thought the Kings were going to be like coming out and being some great team this year. But did you really think the Kings would be 5-16? And I don't want to hear about injuries because every team in the league has dealt with injuries. And it seems like there are more and more injuries all the time. You know, if I am not mistaken, Memphis did not have John Morant yesterday. And last week, when they embarrassed Sacramento and toyed with them, they didn't have Jaren Jackson or they didn't have John Morant. And yes, I'm well aware that the Kings don't have Sabonis, but I'm looking at other teams that, you know, listen, Kessler's out for the Jazz. He's their starting center. Memphis has had a lot of injuries. Phoenix is yet to, they had Jalen Green for what, one game? They had no Grayson Allen the other night and no Jalen Green. They came in and beat Sacramento by putting, 42 points on the board in the first quarter against the make-em-feel-us Sacramento Kings. They're 12-9. Minnesota's had a host of injuries. They're 12-8. They went for a week or so without Anthony Edwards. The Spurs, look at all the injuries they've had. Dylan Harper, Victor Wembanyama, they're 13-6. Denver's without Aaron Gordon. They're 14-5. Houston lost Fred VanVleet before the season even began. They're 13-4. The Lakers have had basically most of the season without LeBron, games without Austin Reeves, games without Luka Doncic. They're 15-4. So I don't want to hear about the Kings' injuries. The difference between the Kings and the other teams, besides the fact that, there are many reasons, but the biggest reason or the biggest difference is the Kings are a non-competitive basketball team. See, that's the biggest issue that I have in Sacramento with what's going on. They're not even competitive on most nights. The point differential states that. They're not even competitive on most nights. Last night they were outscored 32-20 in the fourth quarter. 32-20. The game before that, 128-119. Suns in complete control the whole game. They actually won against Denver and Minnesota. I don't know how that happened. Got embarrassed by Memphis. Lost by 14 at OKC. Lost by 13 against San Antonio. Lost by 14 against Minnesota. Lost by 33 against Atlanta. Lost by 14 against Denver. I can't even count the difference because I don't have a calculator in front of me. I don't even know what this is. They lost 144-117 to Minnesota. They lost by 31 to Oklahoma City. Can I just stop there? It's a joke. Oh, by the way, the make-em-feel-us Sacramento Kings with their coach, Doug Christie, who refuses to do what everyone knows needs to be done. They have the worst first quarter point differential in the NBA at minus 4.2. That is the worst. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to speak for me. If I'm the coach of a basketball team or a football team or what have you, and every night my team is getting badly outplayed in the opening quarter on almost every game and is always losing, I am going to change my starting lineup significantly. And I don't give a darn if it hurts someone's feelings. I don't care if somebody curses me out. I don't care what they have to say. I'm going to walk up to that individual and say, hey, I'm making a change. I know you're not going to like it, but you're not starting. Keep your head up because you're going to probably be on the floor at the end of games. That's how I'm handling it. I'm not putting out the same horrible lineup game after game after game after game after game after game after game. Not doing it. And yet here we are, 21 games into the lost season. All right? It's unbelievable. Seriously. Rhino, we talk about numbers, and you always like to look at numbers, and I think in this case, it's really good. How about the disparity last night, Rhino, between the starters and the bench in the first quarter?
Yeah, it was
And
bad.
then the bench. How about that?
All of the starters, respectively, were a -8, coming out to a -40 for the period. The bench players were all +12, coming out to a +60 in the first quarter. For the game,
Think about that.
For the game, the starters were -104. Keegan was the only starter that wasn't a double-digit negative. The bench was +64.
I mean, that's just embarrassing. And yet, when the Kings go to Houston, we're going to see Levine on the floor with DeRozan and Westbrook. And it just, like, I'm sorry. I mean, why is it that Doug Christie refuses to do that? Is he being told by Scott Perry, you can't do that? We're trying to trade these guys. I need them. No, there's no secrets in the NBA. You think a general manager is not going to trade for Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan because all of a sudden they're coming off the bench? That wouldn't affect or anyone else. That's not going to affect the general manager making a deal. That would have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, Mr. NorCal says this in the chat. Rookies need to earn their minutes. Jerry Reynolds has said that a couple of times on our If You Don't Like That post-game shows. We'll hear from Doug about Max later in the show. But to your point about Neek being a disappointment, I don't think Neek's had a chance yet. I think it's an incomplete. He's getting 3-4 minute stretches at a time, Napes.
I don't think you get into rhythm with 3 or 4 minute stretches. I don't. So I'm with you. I think that's a fair point. So in the game yesterday, Zach LaVine, he's got one of the worst plus minuses in the entire NBA, does he not?
It's up there.
I think it might even be the worst. He's -30 last night in 35 minutes. -30.
And yet
go ahead.
And yet he was part of that closing unit on the floor. I think that is the frustration for Kings fans right there.
And then Doug praises him almost every single game. Every single game. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Eubanks -21, Westbrook -24, Murray -20. The only one that was under 10 was DeRozan in -9. So, like, wow. And again, I would say one thing about plus minus. You got to be careful by using it the way we're using it here, because plus minus is normally a more relevant statistic over a longer sample size than just one game. But still, it does tell a lot.
Okay, but it's a sample size of 21 games where, at least to my memory, more times than not, the Kings fall behind in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And for instance, last night, the bench unit goes on a 14-2 run, and then you never see that unit get back on the floor again the rest of the night together.
Yep. This message from the 916, the issue I have with the team is we don't have an identity. We seem stuck in the extremely low IQ offense that relies on bad step-back threes. It hasn't worked, and it won't work. I do see some effort on D. Not their fault. They aren't big enough. That's from Mike. Well, first of all, they do have an identity because I hear the coach talk about it all the time. Their identity is defend, rebound, and share the basketball. That's their identity because I hear it from the coach almost after every game. To get back to what you just said, you're right. It isn't their fault that they're not big enough. That's Scott Perry's fault. He's the general manager. He gave the team an inadequate roster with size. And Jerry talked about that throughout the preseason. Too old and too small. And that's just very apparent. Now, they did sign Drew Eubanks, and I think for the most part, he's been pretty good. And in all fairness, they did play without Keegan Murray for the first 4 weeks of the season, and now they don't have Sabonis. Picking up Precious Achiuwa has helped. But on the wings, they lack, and again, we talk about athleticism. They're just such an unathletic team for the most part. Hey, before we get to the break, I talked a lot about credibility, experience, based on my knowledge of knowing an individual. And when it comes to buying a home, selling a home, maybe a home equity line of credit, this is going to be one of the most important business decisions you ever make. You need to have the right person. Spencer at Village Financial Group is that guy. I've known him now for 25 years, and that's when he began his family-owned business, Village Financial Group. And again, if you're buying or selling a home, if you're looking for the right person, Spencer is a financing specialist. He's really creative, and he has access to private money. Give him a call or text Spence at 916 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. And be sure and ask about the investor special. And we talk about all the properties that are available right now. Wow. There are over 9,000 properties available for purchase. You can see them all on VFGloans.com. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. When we come back, more of your phone calls, text messages, 916-779-0929 on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580. Or go to elitepower.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
(916-779-0929). Grant Napear, Ryan in Sacktown. We're talking about a lot of things. And Rhino, where do you want to go with the post-game sound or any of the sound bites from yesterday from Doug Christie to what's going on here?
I think a perfect place to start is the frustration, the mounting frustration within the group, the fan base, and dealing with that, pushing through that, trying to improve. Doug was asked about that last night, Napes.
I mean, there's a lot, and it festers even as we go home and you come in tomorrow. Like there's a lot of that, and you just have to, in this seat, you have to navigate it, try to hit it head on, be as honest as you can possibly be. But those are the things that's why we are a team. This isn't an individual sport, it's a team sport. And in those moments, that's where you know, as teammates, you lean on each other, you help each other. And the same for the coaching staff and the team together. You know, there's a synergy that has to be there, that we connect and we keep working towards the common goal of, you know, creating an identity. That identity is now translated out onto the court, because, you know, I can come in and I talk to you guys about the identity and you'll see it out there from time to time, but the ability for it to be consistent at a higher level lies within each individual to go out there and continuously execute it and be willing to sacrifice of themselves, because a lot of that is about sacrifice. Defense is about sacrifice. Rebounding is about sacrifice. Sharing the ball is about sacrifice. And that's just the basic premise of what it is for our identity to be a Sacramento King. The offensive side and the defensive side, there's pillars to that one too, and those pillars are all about sacrifice as well. So that's probably the biggest thing is sacrificing for the greater betterment of the whole. Yeah.
Can I say something for a minute before you go on? I feel like Doug is always trying to convince people that he really knows the game of basketball, which I already know because I was with him for years and years on a daily basis. I just feel like he's constantly trying to educate me on things that I don't need to be educated on as somebody that watches sports. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. And I told you this in training camp, Ryan, when you were out there every single day, and you were getting sound, and we would play that on the show. And I kept saying to you, you know what? I'm so tired of the talk. Actions speak louder than words. I'm just sorry. It's just the fourth quarter yesterday, Ryan, is a perfect example. And then I listened to Zach Levine after the game about the offense, right?
Yep.
And the stagnation and this and that. And they get into a rut, and then they don't take good shots, and the ball stops. It's just, it's the same thing, game after game after game.
And it's also the same thing in these flashes that Doug's talking about. When you see the quote-unquote identity of what they want to be, most times it includes the bench players. They're the ones that are forcing the turnovers a lot of the times. They're the ones getting out in transition. I mean, the amount of lobs that I have seen not finish this year, I can't remember another year like it. The starters have been sloppy in that sense. And to look at the box last night, the Kings did a lot of the things that would equate to winning for them. They forced Memphis to 23 turnovers, and they scored 25 points off of them, but then they shoot themselves in the foot from the free throw line, shooting 59% or right around there, I believe. So it's just that balance, Grant. You can't, I don't think Doug can get what he wants out of the starters in terms of that identity. It's just, it is what it is with that group. And quite frankly, if you're going to build an identity, Napes, around that group, you're not going to have an identity because this group is not going to be the group that carries you into the future. It's the young guys.
This 916 on the text line at 916-779-0929. Grant, Doug sounds defeated and lost on the podium. It's getting to the point where you feel sorry for him. I don't disagree with that. He does sound lost. And I think that he first of all, he's in a very difficult position. I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
this has got to be brutal for him. And I acknowledge that. And I also think he does a tremendous job with the media, and I've complimented him for the way he handles this. But I think he's not doing himself any favors. I think, like he always says during his postgame, I got to go back and watch the tape. I got to go back and watch the film. He says that almost every single game when he doesn't know how to answer a question. And I think Doug, in addition to going back and watching the tape, I think he needs to go back and watch his press conferences and listen to his messages, because they're falling on deaf ears right now. And it's less would be more for me right now if I'm Doug. Say less, and that would be better for you. Stop going into these lectures of sacrifice. Stop going into the lectures of, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm sorry. I know Doug knows all about what it takes to be on a winning team, because he was on a winning team. And I think he wants this team to so desperately mirror the team that he was on here in Sacramento 25 years ago. That ain't ever happening. I'm sorry. It's not. Deal with reality. Stop with the nonsense and just talk less. I really mean that. And I understand how you could feel sorry for him. He's in a bad spot. I acknowledge that.
No doubt about it. And I acknowledge, too, he's watching the film. Doug is all in when it comes to basketball. You've talked about, his life outside of basketball being very much in a bubble in your experience. In hour 2, we'll talk about a question that was asked before the game and the Doug's response to the bench outplaying the starters again after the game. But one bright spot, Grant, for the Kings over the past week has been Max Reynaud. Definitely starting to see some more from him, earning some more minutes. Will he start maybe breaking into the starting lineup? Doug was asked about expanding his role.
Absolutely. I think Max has done a great job. He comes in, he's highly attentive to the game plan, trying to execute the game plan at a high level, understanding. He communicates really well, but he's a young player. So when it comes to leverage and physicality and some different things that he is learning right before our very eyes, that can be tough, especially with a big guy like Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. These guys are huge, but he's beginning to hold his own, and you can see that the game is slowing down for him. So as it slows down and he continues to improve, his minutes are going to go up for sure.
How about starting him? Forget about minutes going up. You're 5-16. At what point are we just going to say, screw it, I'm throwing him out there, and he's going to learn on the fly, and if he takes his lumps, fine. If he's going through a rough stretch, I'll sit him down, let him catch his breath, let him see what's going on, and put him back in. I mean, at this point, what difference does it make?
I think the back end of Doug's response was exactly it. It's the fouls. It's getting off into foul trouble early. However, I think I get it. I'm with you. I think you're doing the team a better service because Drew Eubanks plays better off the bench.
Yeah, and here's the other deal. You get 6 fouls. I don't care if Max gets 2 quick fouls. I mean, my goal now is totally different. My team is 5-16. They have the worst point differential in the league. And I got to, in addition to hopefully saving my job, I've got to also give the fans a reason to go to the games. There's no reason. Seriously, Rhino, and I mean this. Why would you go to the game right now? I mean, it's just brutal. 916-779-0929. That's the number to call or get on. I'm going to talk some NFL next segment. Are the 49ers capable of winning the NFC? What do you think about that? What do you think? Let's talk about that next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
At Downtown Ford Sacramento, we're proud of our long heritage. We've consistently provided Ford cars and trucks to families and businesses in this region for over 100 years. If we think about it, practically every kid who grew up in this town at one time or another rode around in a Ford that we sold to their family. We've served multiple generations of local farmers and ranchers who got their rugged Ford trucks from us. We've also provided many of the emergency vehicles that you see out doing the people's work every day on the streets. All of us at Downtown Ford, from our top-notch service department who keep your Ford running like new, to our dedicated finance team and the guys and gals in our showroom, we thank you for generations of love and loyalty to us. And for that love, we say right back at you. We're doing Fords just like we always have. Come see us any day of the week or visit us online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Welcome to HQ Showgirls, Sacramento's premier adult gentlemen's club. We're the only topless club between Reno and San Francisco serving alcohol, beer, wine, and champagne. All inside over 6,000 square feet of pure excitement. Planning a party or a VIP night? Call our VIP manager now at 916-389-0199 to book your table. Come experience the energy at HQ Showgirls, 851 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento. Open 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and until 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Visit hqnightclub.com, where the night begins and never stops.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
So my question here on the text line, 209 chiming in, should Kyle Shanahan be considered in the running for Coach of the Year? Yeah, he should. Yeah, he should. Now, I don't think that he will when I look at how I think things are going to turn, but ponder this for a moment. The 49ers, I think, are getting their bye week at the absolute perfect time. Perfect to have a bye week right now. Then it gets you ready for the stretch drive. 4 games. Tennessee should win that. At the Colts have now lost a couple in a row. That's Monday Night Football, which is not ideal. I mean, it really isn't. You know, Monday night, Eastern time zone. It's a rough. Then you come back. Then you come home and play the Bears on Sunday Night Football, then how about that game to end the season at home against Seattle? Here are your losses this year for the 49ers. Home game to Jacksonville, 26-21. At Tampa, when you were completely decimated by injuries, 30-19. At Houston, excellent defense, 26-15. And then the Rams game at home, which was a really bad showing, 42-26. That's it. Here are your wins. Seattle on the road, at New Orleans, home Arizona, at the Rams, home Atlanta, at the Giants, at Arizona, home Carolina, at Cleveland. Could I see the 49ers winning the NFC? Let me answer that. When I look at the NFC and I look at the teams that I think are going to be there come January, if I'm the 49ers, who would I not want to play? Probably the answer to that question are the two teams in your division, particularly the Rams. Other than that, you have any problem playing a team in the NFC South? No. Would you have any problem playing Chicago? No. Green Bay is fickle. Detroit, inconsistent. If you had to play the Eagles, no. So why not? Why not? The teams that scare you the most are in your own division. If I'm looking at success, because you're going to have to win in all likelihood 3 games to go to the Super Bowl, because you're probably not going to have a bye. Said probably. Could, but I'm going to forecast that you won't. Is this team good enough to win 3 playoff games in January? Well, again, I asked the question, who's better than them in the NFC? I don't see any team that I would say, oh, yeah, they're definitely better than the 49ers. I would pick the Rams to beat them. I might pick Seattle to beat them, but here's the problem I have with Seattle. I don't know about Sam Darnold in January based on what I saw last year, based on what I saw with Darnold against the Rams earlier this year. I'm not sold on Darnold in a big spot. I already know what Stafford can do in a big spot. I know what Purdy can do in a big spot. I don't know what Sam Darnold can do in a big spot. So that's the big question mark I have with Seattle. Bears, same thing. Young team, inexperienced. I wouldn't mind playing them in the playoffs. And then you got the Eagles. I don't know what's going on with Philadelphia now at 8-4. They got manhandled by the Bears. So what do you think? Do you think that the 49ers could win the NFC this year after I had ruled them out? I think it's unlikely because I think at some point in January, again, as good as Robert Saleh is and his game plans and everything else, not having Bosa, not having Warner, I mean, that's just got to, at some point, impact you to where you lose a game, and you can't lose games in January, as we know. So I wanted to throw that out there. Do you think the 49ers could win the NFC? 916-779-0929. We're talking that. We're talking NBA, Kings. I'll get to Lane Kiffin in a moment as well. Let's get to Javier in Vacaville. Javier, welcome to the show.
How you doing today, Mr. Nick?
Javier, thank you for calling.
So I was trying to call last week and talk to you before the holiday, but it's all good. I just wanted to, say what I was thankful for in regards to the organization that we, follow the Kings. And I just wanted to say I was thankful for the Bean team. We had 3 seasons, and it's just quite a, travesty that this is the product that we get. And, I'm grateful that you can come back and give us some, truth to what this organization or whatever they call that over there, on Davis, Stern Lane and, the Delco area. And just to put this in perspective, I was not trying to be critical, but before I called, I'd reach out to, the season ticket office, sales line for them to see how long it would take to get through to hear their sales pitch. And they told me for over 19 and a half minutes that my call would be answered in 8.5 minutes. I didn't even get through to them. And this is just, a microcosm of where they're at. And that's why, you know what? I just wanted to hear them see how they could sell a season ticket to me as a Kings fan for, 31 years. And I just hung up, I'm going to call Mr. Napear because he ain't going to have me wait for 19 and a half minutes But
That's
I just wanna say I'm
unbelievable to
thankful
me.
for the
No,
Bean
seriously,
team.
that is unbelievable to me. It really is. It's inexcusable.
Yeah, and I have the screenshot of the call, but in the day, it's all relative. And like I said, I just want to have the Kings fans know I'm grateful for the Bean team. You know, I hope you had a good holiday, Mr. Napier. But
Thank you.
it's a shame. We're watching basketball that doesn't mean anything anymore in Sacramento. So,
Javier, I want to ask you,
talk
you've
to
been a
soon.
fan. Javier, let me ask you a question. You said you've been a fan for 31 years?
Yes, I've been a fan since I've been alive.
Okay.
I listened to you way back when you were, on, KHBK and all the other stations, NBC
Yeah.
Sports, all that. I was on
appreciate
there
that.
listening to you, watching you. Yeah. What
All
were
right,
you
so
going
I
to
want
ask me,
to
though, about that?
no, but hang on. Thank you for the compliment. I want to ask you a question. You're a diehard Kings fan. You've been with the team through thick and thin. Do you watch the whole game now, or do you just get disgusted at times and turn it off?
I mute the television for one, and then I get distracted for two. It feels like I can't focus, and I think genuinely I watch the same game over and over again. I try to keep it on, but it's a 50-50 coin flip every time because, again, from the Comcast Sports days to where you're at now to where you were 10 years ago, this is the worst brand of basketball they've ever put on the floor. And until anybody out there that has any courage, ticket holders included, stops paying for the product, nothing will change. And it hurts me to say that. But I called today to try to get a season ticket pitch from their sales team. And like I said, I was on hold for 19 and a half minutes, and they said about half a dozen times, if not more, your call will be answered in 8 minutes or less. And I said, I'm going to call the radio and just let them know I was thankful for the Bean team because the Bean team's not coming back. And they can say whatever they want about Coach Brown. Well, look at the New York Knicks and look at the Sacramento Kings. It's done. And every day you go watch the Kings, and every time you pay money for a ticket, you're only feeding to the beast and feeding to the monster and feeding to this, what we call an atrocity of a franchise by paying Vivek every day. But as you said, if you really care about the city of Sacramento, put the team up for sale, Mr. Ron Dive. Sell a team to the city like the Green Bay Packers. And I would support you. And Grant Napier, if you wanted to buy the King, I know that's, a stretch, but I know you would do better with this franchise than what's being presented.
Oh, I can guarantee you I would do. I can guarantee you with my life that I would do much better for the franchise, and it would take me about 1 hour to get the franchise back on the right track. Trust me when I say that. So, but that's unfortunately never going to happen unless I win the Powerball. What's the power? Even if I won that, I wouldn't be able to buy the team. Javier, thank you very much for your phone call. It's good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's an absolute joke. We're watching Kings fans. Stop putting your money in that cartoon character's hand, that thief, Mr. Ron Dive. You have a good day, Mr. Napier. Thank you.
You too, buddy. Thank you very much. On the text line, what are my thoughts on the Lane Kiffin situation? My thoughts are it is the animal that is now college football. And it is a travesty when a coach leaves a team that's going to be in the college football playoff before the playoffs even begin. The schedule that college football has as it relates to the portal and everything else needs to be changed so these type of situations stop happening. It's awful. And Lane Kiffin, who did the same thing at Tennessee and other stops, but he's getting paid $13 million a year. He has incentives and clauses in his contract which are unbelievable, too good to pass up. He was at Ole Miss for 6 years, probably not going to win a national championship. Now he goes to LSU, where he's going to get the cream of the crop all the time. He is in a college football mega, whatever, call it whatever you want. So my thoughts are, I'm disappointed. I think it's bad for college football, but it is the animal that college football has become. And until they change the calendar, this will happen again, unfortunately. It's a mess, and it is just, it's going to be very interesting to see Ole Miss in the playoffs. Rhino, speaking of college football, you were at the Notre Dame-Stanford game. How was that for you?
It was great. The only downside was, it was cold, number one. But number two, the Notre Dame band was not there.
That's awful.
Right?
Isn't that some feud they have going back decades?
apparently goes back to the 80s where the Stanford band did something, and now it's this standoff. But to not have the
Notre Dame
Dame
football
band,
without the band? Like what? I mean, that.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
I know. We were right. We were right above the tunnel where the players run out. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to tear up hearing this fight song, and no fight song.
That's like pancakes without syrup, or
100%.
I mean, we can go. No, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
I can't. I like if I were at a Notre Dame football game and couldn't hear their fight song, that would be so disappointing to me.
Granted, it kind of didn't feel like watching Notre Dame.
Wow.
But I will say this, the Stanford band doesn't make it better. No offense, Stanford fans, but it's this mixed group of individuals that are not students, and it's not very large. It just does not feel like a college football kind of feel at Stanford.
You know, that's really unfortunate because once again, the fans are the ones that get screwed. And I'm well aware that it's at Stanford, but the bottom line is the pageantry of college football has been taken away for this rivalry, and it's a shame. It's a shame because, listen, even the Stanford fans probably would like to hear the Notre Dame fight song because it's one of the great, if not the best of all times.
No doubt. And granted, there was only like 7 Stanford fans there to hear it. It was mostly Notre Dame fans, but yeah, it was just a little bit of a placid feel. It kind of felt more like how would I say this? Como se dice? A NFL preseason game.
Yeah. You know, you talk about the pageantry of college football, right? And you talk about the bands. Like going to the Alabama game, they've got I knew one of the band members for a couple of years because his dad and I were friends. And he was telling me about all of the practice they do. The name of their band, by the way, it's the $1 Million Band.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of the best bands in the country. And I actually sat next to him in Miami at the Alabama-Ohio State national championship game when they only allowed like 12,000 in because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we weren't social distancing. We were sitting next to each other. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Shh, shh, shh. Anyway, so I felt so bad for him because they were in the national championship, and because of the pandemic, they couldn't have the band and everything else. But anyway, he was talking about all of the practice. Do you know that being in the band is like the equivalent of being on a team? The amount of practice and the amount of time that goes in to being on a marching band. He said it's really incredible. But like when I think of college football, when I went to the Michigan game, like to hear the Michigan fight song, and I'm not a fan of Michigan, but when you're at the game and you hear the Michigan fight song, like it's unbelievable. And as I said, I can't imagine being at a Notre Dame football game and not having the band there. I just can't imagine that.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bizarre. I did get to meet the official leprechaun for this year.
Yeah, I saw your picture on social media.
So that was pretty cool. But
how do you know he was the official leprechaun? Did you ask him if he was the official?
It was the leprechaun, yes, and it was a her. Actually, this year. So they made the trip. The cheerleaders made the trip. But no, it was a really good time tailgating. We were there early, so got to meet a lot of other Notre Dame fans as well. But other than the band, awesome time.
What was the ratio of fans, Stanford to Notre Dame, would you say?
Easily, I'm being so conservative by putting it this 75-20. You know what? No, probably about 80-20 Notre Dame to Stanford.
And that's another reason why the band should have been there. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I mean, can we not settle this? Like, it's just so petty.
So I just looked up on social media. 1991 is when that feud started.
Okay, I was wrong. 91.
Well, no, you weren't. You 80s, 90s, same thing. I'm trying to give reference to like how ridiculous this is. All right, it's 20. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, is it not the year 2025?
Right. I wonder because of NIL if Notre Dame doesn't have it in the budget to fly the band out anymore. Joking.
Notre Dame not having money. Yeah. Hey, 34 years we're talking about. You can't have the band at Stanford? Really?
It's nuts. And to your point about being in the band, they do scholarships for some of the people in the band and on the flag teams.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's huge.
Yes. Yes. So listen, being in the band at a big university, that's a huge deal. It's not like a little thing. It is a big, big deal. It's quite an honor. And they take it, the band members, it's like being on a football team or a basketball team or any team. It's like a big time deal. It's huge, like huge.
Do you think the band members, if you win a national championship, get a ring? They should.
You know, Will, his name was Will, was there when Alabama won it. I didn't ask him that. I don't know. But he was talking about they go to X number of road games every year. And he said one of the big thrills is to travel and to go to different venues. But that the $1 Million Band, when they come out onto the field at Tuscaloosa, I mean, it's not like people leave and go to the concessions and the restrooms. Like they give great support and respect to the band. It's very cool to see. Very cool.
So when you were at the national title game and they didn't have the Alabama band, did they pump in the band via the speakers? Did they?
I honestly don't. I don't remember. All I remember was going to Hard Rock Stadium with only 12,000 people, and the guy that bought me the ticket was Will's father, David. And I'm like, David, I don't need to go to this game. I had only met him that week with a very good friend of mine from Sacramento who is a ridiculous Alabama fan. And he came to Miami with his buddies from Tuscaloosa, David being one of them. And so we were hanging out every night. And he's like, I'm taking you to the game. I'm like, David, I don't need to go to the game. He goes, no, I'm gonna get you a ticket. I'm like, David, give it to somebody. I said, I'm not really a diehard Alabama fan. I love college football. He goes, no, you're coming with me. He spent a couple $1,000s.
Wow.
And I'm not exaggerating. I think maybe the ticket was $2,000. And again, there's only 12,000 of them. There weren't because of the pandemic. I'm not exaggerating. Maybe 15,000. You can look it up. Alabama, Ohio State crowd at the national championship game. I think it was 2021 or 2022 was the year. So, but okay, it might have been 2021. There weren't more than 15,000. I know for a fact it was less than that. And I'm like, David, don't buy me a ticket. I don't need it. He bought me a ticket. I went, and we had a great time. That was when Justin Fields was the quarterback for Ohio State, and Alabama won the game and won it quite handily. But it was still kind of neat to be there.
No doubt. And that was a big deal, too, because fans were just starting to get back into going to games.
Yes,
So
it was a big deal.
massive.
Yeah. And it's also very cool to be at a game in January in shorts and a short sleeve shirt. That was pretty cool, too.
All right, now you're bragging.
That's part of the deal. Hey, speaking of bragging, I brag a lot about DAS Mechanical, and I brag about them and talk about them on my radio show because they are really, really good at what they do when it comes to heating and air conditioning. They are HVAC retrofit and service specialists. Yeah, they do new systems as well, but I brag about them and talk about them because I really am into businesses that are so highly reviewed with numerous awards, because that tells me everything I need to know when it comes to customer service. Because especially when you're doing heating and air conditioning, I put customer service like right at the very top of the list. And at dasmechanical.org, their reviews and their awards, they don't happen by accident. It's because they do things the right way and their customers love them. dasmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. Again, HVAC, retrofit, and service specialist, family-owned and operated, serving Sacramento and Placer counties. Homeowners, businesses for commercial maintenance, they do it all. So go to dasmechanical.org. You can schedule everything online. Look at their business model. It's all there for you at dasmechanical.org. When we come back, we'll talk more of today's topics, NFL, the Kings. And again, I want to ask you the question. We're getting a lot of feedback here, especially on the text line. Do you remember things being this bad this soon in a season for the Kings? 916-779-0929 right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Cameron, I just think we need to, see other people.
Are you trading me in?
No, a trade-in is what I'm getting from Kitchen Mart.
A trade-in.
Right now, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 credit when you trade in your old kitchen countertops for something worth showing off, like granite, marble, or solid surface.
I'm not worth showing off?
Not like the stunning new quartz countertops Kitchen Mart just installed for Karen and Tom.
Huh.
Durable, easy cleanup, made their kitchen look brand new. And Kitchen Mart gave them a $750 trade-in credit to haul off their ugly old tile and grout countertop.
You're dumping me.
That's harsh. You want me to wait till I get the new countertops from Kitchen Mart?
At least hold off till Wednesday. I'm seeing Susan.
Susan!
Now's the perfect time to trade up to beautiful new quartz, granite, marble, or solid surface countertops. Because for a limited time, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 trade-in credit for your old countertops. Go to kitchenmart.com today and schedule a free in-home consultation and save $750 off new countertops.
No one does it better than
kitchenmart.com.
Business owners, Grant Napier's back, bringing Fox Sports Radio to the forefront of sports talk in Sacramento. That means more listeners, more potential customers who could be spending money for your products and services. This is Kurt Bagelman, General Manager for Fox Sports Radio in Sacramento. Grant's back, and his return is an opportunity for your business. Listen, the sports talk audience is a target-rich group of consumers. 80% are employed, nearly 60% earn six-figure incomes, 67% own their homes. Take advantage of the attention Grant's return has generated to tell people where to spend their money. This is a unique opportunity to increase your sales right now. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great commercial message heard by sports fans could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 779-0914. Radio and Grant get results, and we are here to help. Call 779-0914.
Grant Napear, Fox Sports Sacramento, 916-779-0929. You talk about rituals in sports, and I think a marching band with a football program is just that. And whether it's Division I or Division II, it doesn't matter. But like I've always been interested in some of the nuances in different parts of the country with different fan bases and some of the things that go on that are amazing. So in New York, the New York Rangers and the Islanders have been a great rivalry. And it was really hard for the Rangers because the Islanders were an expansion franchise in the 70s at the Nassau Coliseum, and the Rangers were one of the original 6 teams. And, of course, the Islanders won 4 Stanley Cups from 1980 to 1984, which was really hard for the Ranger fans to take. And it was a bitter rivalry. It was a fierce rivalry. And the captain during those years for the New York Islanders was Dennis Potvin. And Dennis Potvin was a tremendous player. Well, now think about this. I'm talking about the 80s now. Here we are in 2025. If you go to a Rangers game during a stoppage in play or a quiet period of the game, there is a fan that will do a whistle. And it's about 8, 9, 10 whistles in a pattern. And as soon as the individual stops whistling, every single person in the stands chants, Potvin sucks. All right? Think about this. 2025, you go to a Rangers game right now, and you go to the game, you'll hear somebody whistle, and at the end of the whistle, every single person in the arena chants, Potvin sucks. It's unbelievable. And you go to other arenas, and you hear things, and sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm hearing, but it happens every game. Or if you were a Knicks fan in the 70s, there was a a fan who would dance, and his name was Dancin' Harry, and it became really, really famous in New York. And again, you go to Washington, and, Robert, I think Ficker was his name, was always chanting stuff right behind the opponent's bench, and you would get just an earful, and a lot of times players would be laughing. It was pretty amazing to travel and see different things with different fan bases that became really legendary. All right, let's get to Peter in Elk Grove. Peter, welcome to the show.
Hey, Grant, thanks. Real quick, just wanted to follow up on what you said about Doug Christie. I don't disagree with anything you've said regarding his coaching. The one point that I wanted to chat about was at the end of last year when he took over, he had a 23-18 record, which to me is hireable, or at least in consideration to be hireable. If he had gone the opposite, say 23-18, or just didn't do well at all, I could understand them not hiring. But I think he earned his chance. He had some decent wins last year. So do you not agree that he wasn't at least hireable?
You make a very good point. I would say that during their win streak, they took advantage of the other teams not having their very best players. And I'm not using that as like they didn't win. They did win, but I thought it was flawed. And I said so on my post-game show over on YouTube at the time, based on the other teams' lineups that they were putting out onto the floor. And then against Dallas, in the most important game of the year, I thought he was thoroughly outcoached by Jason Kidd, who basically put a lineup out there of role players, and they embarrassed Sacramento. And I thought the coaching decisions in that game were a bad look for Doug. I said it this way, and I'm not disagreeing with what you say. I'm just putting it to you another way. Had Doug not been retained after the loss to Dallas in the play-in, Doug would not have received an interview for any of the other 29 teams in the NBA during the offseason. Not one. There would have been not one team that would have inquired about Doug to be their head coach. All right? You can't really dispute that. If Doug...
I don't... You're right. I don't...
Now, well, let me just finish one. Hang on. Let me finish one other thing, and then I'll give you plenty of time, because you bring up a good point. If Doug were fired today, and I'm not on the radio saying he should be fired, I'm just saying if he were fired, he would never become an NBA head coach again. Nobody would ever interview him for the position. So you have to keep that in mind. Go ahead.
No doubt. I totally agree with that. And I was at that Dallas game. It was horrendous. It left the worst taste in my mouth. Just ask my wife when I came home at the end of that. I was not going to renew my season tickets. Here I am again anyway. But that was a really, really poor way to go out. And you're probably right. You bring up a good point that really left a sour taste in everybody's mouth, the way he ended the season to go into a must-win game and just tank like that. He says all the right things. Well, I don't know if he says all the right things. I think he's a good motivator, but I totally agree with you. He has completely lost the locker room. He's lost these veterans. They don't care. And it's too bad because, like you said, I do feel sorry for him. His heart's in the right place. It's just he's got, he doesn't have much to work with, fortunately.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, because you said you are a season ticket holder. Is that a one-year plan, or did you have to sign up for multiple years?
It's a 1 year. If I decided I don't leave, I'm not in charge of my tickets.
Oh,
if
okay.
I wanted to pull out, I share with 4 guys, so I get about 12 games a year.
Okay.
Well, actually, like 10. And
okay,
like
how
10
would you
games a
feel?
year.
How would you feel? And again, I understand that the ticket renewals are going to be happening soon. How will you feel if there's a price increase?
Frustrated, but I'm such a sucker. I've been with this team for a long time. I was at the game where Mike Bibby hit the shot. I mean, I was at the playoff games when in '98 against the Jazz. So I go.
So it's in your blood.
Back.
You're there
It's
through
in my
thick and
blood.
thin, good or bad. It's in your blood. And it's only 12 games, so it's not like you're buying 41. It's 12 games, and you're like, you know what? I'm in for 12 games, right? Am I reading that correctly?
That's right. That's 100% correct. Because I have boys in college that are also, they come home, they go to the game. So I can I speak it tough. I can always get pissed off and say I'm not going to, but I'll always be back. I mean, they're exactly like you said. It's in my blood. I'm not going anywhere, unfortunately.
Do you feel at times though, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'm asking, particularly this year, about how many games have you been to this year?
6, I think, 5 or 6.
Do you feel shortchanged when you're sitting there? Do you ever say to yourself, "What the hell am I doing here?" I mean this seriously.
Yes. I was at a couple of blowouts this year. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, get blown out on the road, but at home. So I'm not somebody who doesn't sit there and boo. I'll boo, just like Logan Webb told us to over his tweet. So yeah, totally shortchanged, but yet I still hang on. I'm still very optimistic. I'm hopeful. I'll never give up on this team, but yeah, I'm frustrated, no doubt.
You know what? You're like most fans that won't give up on the team, as disgusted as they get. You are loyal, and that's why, and I mean this, I don't mean to go off on a tangent. It's the number one reason why I came back after 5 years to do this radio show. The number one reason is because of people like you, because I am so amazed at the fans that have suffered through dysfunction. And Peter, let's just call it the way it is. It's dysfunction. And yet you're still with the team. It's in your blood. And you can't imagine not having the Kings in your life. And I love that about this fan base, because I think you speak for a lot of the fans in this community.
100%. I remember those days when they, whenever it was 2012, I think, and going to Seattle, it would have been horrendous. I had young kids at the time, and it would have been awful. You know what I am, Grant, and I'm probably most of us are. If you've seen that little clip of the kid after the New York Jets are playing, and it's pretty popular, and I think it's gone viral. But somebody asks them, "What do you think?"
Yes.
And the kid's just like, "I hate this team. I hate this team." And that's who I am, basically. That's who I am with the Kings.
Yeah. Well, Peter, I appreciate you calling the show, and thank you. Call again. Enjoy your afternoon. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Grant. You too. Thanks. Bye.
All right. See, right there, I think that's a typical fan. Disgusted, but not disgusted enough to back out of his 10 games, 12 games, if you have 15 games, whatever the case may be. I will tell you that I have friends that have stopped going to the games who actually have they've had to eat their money on their tickets because nobody wants to buy them. And they're like, I'm not going. And I had one individual that spends about $2,000 a game, and he assured me he's not renewing his tickets. I'm like, you say that? You've said that before. He goes, I know I have said that before. I'm not renewing my tickets this year. I'm like, wow. I'll believe it when I see it. But he assured me that he's done. That he's done. No more. 916 says, I became a fan during the Gary St. Jean era. I never can remember a team this uncompetitive. See, he hit that right on the head. It's not about winning or losing. It's about the lack of competitiveness over a 48-minute game. I mean, you have a point differential of over 11. Ryan, don't you think that's the number one thing that we get on post-game shows? It's not just the losing. It's the way they're losing. It's the fact that they're getting blown out in so many games where it becomes not just a loss, it becomes embarrassing.
Yes, it's the predictability as well, Grant. You feel like you can turn on a game halfway through the second quarter and know exactly what has already gone on and what to expect going forward. And that's the heart of this fan base. If you put it out there on the court consistently and you compete, they're there for it. They respect that. They can deal with the L when they feel like guys aren't playing that should be playing, and you see guys that are playing well but don't come back into the game, and the guys that are in the game aren't competing. That's where you run into a problem with this fan base.
From the 209, this question, do season tickets come with free parking or discount on food? No, but if you are a premium season ticket holder, you get access to the club lounge, and there is food in there, which you're not paying for at that particular point in time. But trust me, you're paying for it, okay? You're just not taking cash out of your pocket and paying for it when you walk into the lounge because it's all there and you take what you want buffet style, but you are paying for it. It is just that you may not be aware that you're paying for it. But yes. So, and again, I think some tickets do come with parking, but again, it's not free. It is built into the cost of your ticket. So the answer to that question is the discount on food? No. And the food is not cheap, right, Rhino? Man,
No,
absolutely.
it is not. Luckily, I have graduated to the eating for free plan in the media room.
I have a question for you. And it's not on my text line. It's from our YouTube channel where people do stream the program on our Fox Sports Sacramento YouTube page. It has to do with Christian McCaffrey. And the question is Christian McCaffrey, will he be a Hall of Famer? And I'll answer the question this way. If Terrell Davis of the Denver Broncos, who only had 4 good years, okay, only 4 made it into Hall of Fame, why would Christian McCaffrey not? Here's the problem I have with that. Roger Craig is not in the Hall of Fame, and Roger Craig, in my opinion, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame over McCaffrey as today. Now, I can't predict the future. I don't know how much longer he's going to play and how effective he will be, but you have to remember, Roger Craig's not in the Hall of Fame, and he would be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, over McCaffrey. Your thoughts?
How much does a championship change that for Christian McCaffrey?
It would change it. It would change it. No question. It would change it. That's something Roger Craig's got. And so, yes, it would change it.
I think with his versatility, and I know he's had a ton of injuries as well, but there is a bit of longevity there. I think that he has helped be a part of that group that's changed the running back position back to a payable, or at least a position that's starting to get paid a little bit more. So I'm kind of fringe borderline there. I think in today's day and age, he is. Back in the day, in Roger Craig's generation, he's probably not, Napes.
Someone from the 209, your post-game show is more entertaining than watching the Kings. Thank you. We appreciate that. And we love doing the shows, even though I didn't do the last 2 shows over the holiday weekend. Forgive me. Rhino, thank you for you and Jerry for taking care of the show
Our
for
pleasure.
the last 2 games. I knew that they were going to lose both games, and I didn't want to be a part of it. I was just like, man, I need a break. You know what I'm saying, Rhino?
We had somebody come at you for not being there, so I had to go
Really?
with them. Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I
All
went
right.
with
Well,
them.
I
I
take
set
the
him
blame.
straight.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you can come at me. It's okay. I get that. I will be there Wednesday after the Rockets game. And if you want to come at me, I'll be there and I'll take all the hits. Not a problem. I'm happy to do that.
Love this right here. Listening all the way in Orlando. I live in Sac, but out here with my daughter's cheerleading team, still have to listen to the Grant Napear Show. Mandatory. He is listening on the KSAC, Fox Sports Sacramento app. Go get it now in the Google Play, Apple Store. Download it for free. And much like Will, you can listen from anywhere. Love that, Napes.
Okay. But I'm looking at his handle and he's got his, I won't say the first name. I don't want to give it away in case he doesn't want me to. Raider Laker from the 916. Okay. That's fine with me that you're a fan of whomever, but I'm with Rhino. Thank you for listening on the Fox Sports KSAC app. Hope things are well in Orlando. Hope the weather's good. This is the busy time of the year down in the world of Disney. So enjoy. And we do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. First of all, I don't agree with the next message about Roger Craig. The Roger Craig crucial fumble ruined his Hall of Fame vote. No, I disagree with you. One fumble does not dictate whether you're in the Hall of Fame or not. That's crazy. That's That's absolutely ridiculous. Stop it. It's ridiculous. I mean, come on. That's absurd. All right, we'll come back. 916-779-0929. Let's talk more about this. Give me a call. Is this the worst that you can remember the Sacramento Kings being this early in the season? Text me, call me. Next here on the Grant Napear Show, Fox Sports Sacramento.
At Downtown Ford Sacramento, we're proud of our long heritage. We've consistently provided Ford cars and trucks to families and businesses in this region for over 100 years. If we think about it, practically every kid who grew up in this town at one time or another rode around in a Ford that we sold to their family. We've served multiple generations of local farmers and ranchers who got their rugged Ford trucks from us. We've also provided many of the emergency vehicles that you see out doing the people's work every day on the streets. All of us at Downtown Ford, from our top-notch service department who keep your Ford running like new, to our dedicated finance team and the guys and gals in our showroom, we thank you for generations of love and loyalty to us. And for that love, we say right back at you. We're doing Fords just like we always have. Come see us any day of the week or visit us online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
From the 209 favorite announced team in the NBA, Kings leave much to be desired. I can't say I really don't have a favorite announced team in the NBA. It's very difficult for me to say. I'd have to really think about that for a period of time. Again, if you want to get in on the program, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. The Patriots and the Giants tonight, Monday Night Football. Can New England go to 11-2? The Giants, who have snake bit, right? the Patriots, if you're a fan of the New England Patriots, what do the Giants always seem to be able to do is beat you, right, in the big games. I don't really consider this that big of a game. I mean, it is December. New England's got a 2-game lead, and they still have already won at Buffalo. I mean, is it a big game? Yeah, you want to be the number 1 seed. Denver's 10-2. Could I see the Giants winning? I could. You know, they've been very competitive despite the fact that they're 2-10. Dart's back. But I'm not. I wouldn't pick the Giants to win this game. Speaking of picks, Rhino, we didn't even. What did you do over the weekend? You were pretty hot, were you not?
Yeah, I got hot on the weekend, but Cody, the Broncos ruined my perfect weekend. I was 3-1 on the weekend. Black Friday 1-0, so make it 4-1 there. But Grant, I went over on Turkey Day. You were hot as a fried turkey on Thanksgiving, my man, going 3-0.
I didn't even look what I did yesterday. What did I do yesterday?
Yesterday, you lost Black Friday, and you are currently 2-1. You have the Giants tonight.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So we could both go 3-1 for the first time this season on a weekend.
We're turning over a new leaf as we turn the calendar to December 1, are we not?
That's right. You know, we like to hit our stride late in the season. So,
by the way, you made a comment to me earlier in the show, you wussy, that it was cold at the game with Stanford and Notre Dame. You want to go to cold? Go. Let me tell you something. Go to Foxborough tonight and sit outside at the Patriots-Giants game. Go to Lambeau Field in January.
I want to.
I know. If you tell me you're cold, I'll go, okay, I understand it. You're in Northern California and you're telling me it's cold at the Stanford Notre Dame game? Stop it, please.
You know, I was ill prepared. I only had my North Face jacket and a sweatshirt on.
Oh,
so I probably should have done a little bit more.
You were unprepared.
Unprepared, you know.
Unprepared. You understand what I mean, though, right?
I do, yes. This was like a spring day for somebody from Indiana that came and made the trip. They were in shorts and T-shirts.
Yeah. So if you want to go to a real cold weather game, go to Soldier Field in December or January. Go to Lambeau. Go to Foxborough. Go to Buffalo with those crazy fans on a Sunday night or a Monday night game late in the year. Then you can tell me what cold is all about.
I just can't imagine playing football in that type of weather.
Oh, it's great playing football in that weather. It's great. I used to do it in high school, and it's fun, man. Because once you're playing, you really don't feel the cold. It's not really a big deal. The biggest deal is when you're on the sidelines. It's not when you're in the game.
See, but like, aren't the hits just a little bit more?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
the
part
football
is
hitting your hands. Like, I think the nuance of that playing in the cold, and there's this whole thing in the NFL and even college. You don't wear sleeves. If you wear sleeves, then you're a wuss.
Well, the worst part for me, I played lacrosse, as you know, and playing lacrosse in the cold weather was brutal. That I would much rather play football in the cold weather than lacrosse. That was brutal.
What's the big difference there?
Well, the big difference is your hands are so important in being able to control the stick and everything. And you have lacrosse gloves on, but they're not. They don't warm your hands, and your hands would get very cold. And then when you got hit with, and I played attack, which for the people that don't know lacrosse is offense. When you get hit with the stick on your body, it just hurt a lot more in the cold than it did when it's warm. Not that it felt great when it was warm out. And then if you got hit with the ball's hard rubber, and it became even more of a I guess a harder compound. And boy, you get hit by the ball, and it was not fun. It was not fun.
For those that don't know lacrosse and attack, Grant says offense. He's being modest. He was the man. He was the guy. He was the forward on a soccer team. He was the scorer. You were. I heard about your behind the back shots and all that.
Yeah. It's about the only thing I can brag about in my life. That's about it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Patrick says, come back to Long Island. It's 37 right now. I don't think 37 is cold. I wouldn't want to be in it, but like the coldest game I've ever been to, I always tell this story, when O.J. Simpson ran for 2,000 yards against the Jets in the final game of the year. My brother and Mad Dog Russo were at the game. We had my season tickets, or my dad's season tickets. We had 3 tickets. And I'll never forget this. It was so cold. The wind was so bad coming off the Flushing Bay. And we used to go to games all the time in December. This was the coldest game. It was so cold that you would make trips to the bathroom because they had a heater in there.
Mm.
And then you'd come back out. And I remember at halftime, my brother saying he's leaving. I go, what do you mean you're leaving? He goes, I'm going to the car. I'll wait for you at the car. It's too cold. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm watching history here. I go, I'm watching a guy run for 2,000 yards, not in 16 games, 14 games. And if you look at the video, if you Google Simpson rushing for 2,000 yards, look at how few fans were in the stands at Shea Stadium that day. And I told my brother, I'm not leaving. I am not leaving. And it was a brutal day. And Chris does not remember this for some reason. On the way home, we were about 3 miles from our home. And we were there were 2 lanes going in one direction, 2 lanes going in the other, with a wide median of grass. And we hit a patch of black ice and skidded off the road onto the grass area. We were fine because, again, it was a wide area of grass separating the lanes. And I remember that vividly. But that game, to me, like, I love sports so much, okay? I never left games early. My dad would never leave games early. And we were at games where the Giants were terrible year after year after year. We never, ever left a game until there were zeros on the clock. Never. Not one time. Not to beat the traffic. The only time I told you about was when my aunt flew in from Tokyo on a twilight doubleheader, the first game at 5:30, and the first game went like 18 or 19 innings, and then the second game started, and literally my aunt fell asleep. She had just flown in from Tokyo, and it's not like today when you go nonstop from Tokyo to New York, all right? So she had to make like 2 or 3 stops. We pick her up at the airport. We go to a twilight doubleheader at Yankee Stadium, okay? Right. And literally, it's well past midnight now. And my dad goes, we have to go. Like, what do you mean we got to go? And I'm like, that's the first time I ever remember leaving a sporting event early with my dad. Never happened. Never happened.
So, Grant, I'm looking at the game that you're talking about when OJ broke the record. It's hard, though, because it's black and white and leather helmets and
yeah,
trying to make this out. No, but in all seriousness, the field looks like white mush.
Yep.
It looks nasty.
It was very nasty. And to this day, and I've been to a lot of cold weather games, it is the coldest game. Definitely a little bit colder than the game you're referring to that you're at in Palo Alto on Saturday. I'm just letting you know it was a little bit colder than the game that you're referring to as cold.
Maybe just a tad. The band would have warmed me up a lot. I would have been way warmer if the band was there.
Yeah, you would have been good, right?
Yep, 100%.
You would have been good. Hey, don't forget, I got Grant's Rant coming up in a couple of moments. We will get you ready for Monday Night Football with the Giants and the Patriots. We'll talk more about the Make 'em Fearless Sacramento Kings, who are 5-16. Only the Pelicans are behind them in the West. But the Kings have the worst point differential. And with the next 2 games coming at Houston and at Miami, I can't imagine that point differential getting much better. Fasten your seatbelts. The Kings will leave tomorrow to start their 3-game road trip. How about the games that were added with the NBA Cup, huh? Man, think the schedule's difficult enough already? Yeah, let's go play some of the best teams in the NBA as added on to the schedule. Yeah, welcome to that. Does it really matter? No, it really doesn't matter. You're 5-16. You're terrible. It really, at this point, it doesn't matter. You've proven that you can get blown out by bad teams such as Memphis, and you've proven that you can get blown out by good teams. You've proven it on both ends. So when I look at the schedule for the rest of the year, it just doesn't matter. But go play your vets. Go play Russell Westbrook. Go play Zach LaVine. Go play DeMar DeRozan. Yep, play them all. Let's not play our young pups, although Max is starting to play a little bit more. Drives me crazy. Grant's Rant, right around the corner. Third hour of the show. Tomorrow, Sean Salisbury. We talk college in the NFL. 916-779-0929. Right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant use disorder. Complex family dynamics, financial strain, and cultural expectations can weigh heavily and become a tipping point for those battling the physical and mental effects of addiction. But the holidays can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. They're a chance to take stock of what we have and are thankful for, to remember what's most important to us, and to consider what we can change. The holidays are a time of hope. So this holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the support and company of family and friends, and create special moments. Get started by finding a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org. Find a proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at choosechangeca.org. That's choosechangeca.org.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. Looking for the best happy hour in town? Head to Bennett's, where every day from 2 to 6, you'll find flavor, fun, and serious value. Enjoy over 10 wines by the glass, country club-style cocktails like lemon drops, skinny margaritas, and crave-worthy share plates. Short rib tacos, chicken wings, calamari, and more, starting at just $6. It's upscale without the uptight. 3 locations, Roseville, Rockland, and Sacramento. Join us today or check out the menu at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Visiting the 7-4 Lions. Both teams look like Super Bowl contenders, but living in the NFC North means nothing comes easy. One stumble could turn that hopeful season into a mad scramble for a wild card berth. Then, at 4:30 Eastern, there's the pressure tightening on the Kansas City Chiefs, who sit at 6-5, still searching for the rhythm that once made them terrifying. Across the field, the surging 5-5-1 Cowboys, who suddenly look dangerous again. Both teams essentially playing playoff football in late November. And of course, there's the Ravens at 6-5, now with Lamar Jackson fighting to hold on to their place in the brutal AFC North. It's a lot of drama for November, but it's the kind of drama fans will be thankful for this Thanksgiving. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
This holiday season, skip the same old gifts and send something that's truly unforgettable. From Heartland Steak Company, we're talking premium, hand-cut Midwestern meats such as USDA Prime and Choice Beef, all-natural pork, and tender chicken, all delivered straight to their door with care and convenience. Whether you're shopping for family, friends, clients, or anyone who appreciates bold flavor and quality meats, Heartland Steak Co. has something for everyone. Choose from Grill Master packages, holiday gift boxes, or freezer fillers, each one hand-picked, flash frozen, and packed to preserve unbeatable freshness and taste. It's the perfect way to share the true Midwest flavor this season. Ordering is quick and easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And when you order right now and spend $199.99 or more, you'll receive free shipping plus $25 off your order with promo code GIFT. Give the gift of flavor this holiday season with Heartland Steak Co. That's heartlandsteakco.com. And don't forget to use promo code GIFT. Taste the Heartland difference.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking, the list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
Rhino, what do you have as we start the week?
Napes, a lot of Kings fans were a little perplexed by Doug Christie dragging out the final 2 minutes in Utah in a blowout. We've had a lot of Kings frustrations today, so I was going to let you expand on your rant from earlier about the Kings. Your second choice, Titans running back Julius Chestnut claims that Logan Cook, the Jaguars punter, threatened to kill him during the football game. Too far? Or should Mr. Chestnut just not be sharing that when you've only won one game this season? And last but not least, this whole thing with Lane Kiffin, you touched on it a little bit, but you can get mad at Lane Kiffin. Let's get mad at college football because there's going to be another Lane Kiffin next year unless this problem's fixed.
All right, well, I've ranted on the Kings every day, and I'm getting tired of ranting on the Kings. So let's go about college football. First of all, how does Lane Kiffin get $13 million a year? I'm not anti-Lane Kiffin, but, like, what has Lane Kiffin really done where you're LSU and you say, I have to have Lane Kiffin? You know what he is? He's the flavor of the day. That's what he is, period, right? And we talk about desperation and how universities become desperate to get a quote-unquote big name. And Lane is a big name, all right? He is. But now all of a sudden, he's going to go to LSU. I think that Lane Kiffin is an overrated football coach based on his resume. I'm not saying he's not a good football coach. I'm saying he's overrated. I haven't seen all of the details about his deal with LSU because I don't know if they've all been made public. There's speculation. He has all kinds of bonuses. He's got this, he's got that. But basically, we're talking about $13 million a year to coach a college football team at LSU. $13 million a year. Oh, by the way, this is a university that just fired their coach in the middle of the year, Brian Kelly, and had to give him a check out the door of some $50+ million. Big time business, college football, yeah. But you're telling me that you absolutely had to have Lane Kiffin, and had LSU not wanted Lane, Florida was ready to open up their bank vault for Lane Kiffin. College football is a mess right now. It's a mess in terms of the way it is being run from a business point of view. The calendar needs to be changed. Because of the calendar, it is enabling coaches to be in this bad situation. In a perfect world, it would have been nice for Kiffin to stay on at Ole Miss and finish what he started, which means a college football playoff, which Ole Miss will certainly be a part of. Maybe win a national championship. But no, we can't do that because college football is screwed up. So let's have Lane Kiffin leave his team, leave his players in the middle of the season, and go somewhere else. It's just terrible. It's a joke. And yet, what are we going to do? We're all going to be around our TVs. We're all going to be going to games. We're all going to be watching and following college football. But again, I get back to the essence of this, and I get back to Lane Kiffin. What has Lane Kiffin done in his career that says to you, I absolutely have to have Lane Kiffin as my head football coach? What's he done in his career where you say to yourself, I am going to get Lane Kiffin and I'm going to pay him $13 million a year among many, many other things? Why? What's that all about? Seriously, look at his career. Assistant, Fresno State. Worked his way up into the NFL with Jacksonville, right? Oakland Raiders head coach for a cup of coffee. Then went to Tennessee, USC, after leaving Tennessee after 1 year, 3 years at USC, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, Alabama, then a job at Florida Atlantic, then Ole Miss for 6 seasons, right? Good record, yep. What is it, 115 wins, like 50 losses, if memory serves me correct? As a head coach, let me read off his championships of note, okay? As an assistant coach, 3 national championships, again, as an assistant coach. So what is it about Lane Kiffin? Seriously, what is it about Lane Kiffin? Good offensive mind? Yes. Really good offensive mind? Yes. I mean, when he was at USC as offensive coordinator, they were 23-3. That's pretty good, right? What happened when he became the head coach? Yeah. Again, I don't understand Lane Kiffin, $13 million a year. I don't understand why you have to have Lane Kiffin. I don't get it. I do not understand. He did this to Tennessee, and now all of a sudden he's doing it to Ole Miss, although in all fairness, he did spend 6 seasons. College football, get your act together, plain and simple. Get your freaking act together. It's a bad system. That's my rant for today. And by the way, I could rant on the Kings. I could definitely rant on the Kings 3 hours every day. You would get tired of it. I'm tired of it. A dysfunctional franchise that's poorly owned, poorly managed, and poorly coached as of right now. I'm not going to go back on my comments about Scott Perry. He deserves 3 years, but right now it's off to a horrible start. But I'm going to give him 3 years. It's not like he inherited a great situation. I don't think he's made it any better in his 6 months that he's been with the team, or 7 months. But I'm going to give him 3 years because he deserves 3 years. But right now, doesn't look very good, does it? Doesn't look very good. Does not look very good at all. So you want me to rant on the Kings? Yeah, I can rant on the Kings, but I'm going to be running out of things to say in my rants about the Kings. What am I going to say that hasn't already been done? And I'll tell you this. If you really want to, be in someone's corner, go right ahead. If you want to be in Scott Perry's corner, go ahead. If you want to be in Doug Christie's corner, go ahead. My eyes tell me everything I need to know. And my ears beginning in training camp, and I stated so right here on this program. I stated it before the season began. I did not like what I was hearing coming out of training camp. It was window dressing. And I talked to Ryan about this, and I was very clear that everything sounds hunky-dory, but I made it very clear that if you go to 29 other NBA training camps, you're hearing the exact same thing. All right? You're hearing the same narrative, the same positivity. Everything's great. This guy looks great. The ball movement, our defense, blah, blah, blah. Then what happens? The preseason begins, and you don't see what you wanted to see even in the preseason. The preseason was not good, and we're like, don't worry about it. It's just the preseason, and they're fine-tuning things. Oh, and it's a veteran team, and don't worry. Everything's going to be great. And then what happens? The regular season's on, and in the first game, you're up 20 in Phoenix, and everybody's like, wow, forget about the preseason. And then the second half starts. And in the middle of the third quarter, you get your doors blown off. And then when the fourth quarter comes, you're like, whoa, what happened to that 20-point lead? And then you're losing. And then down the stretch, you don't make any plays. And the Phoenix Suns make all the plays. And you're like, man, how did you blow a 20-point lead on the road in Phoenix against the Suns team without Jalen Green? And yes, you didn't have Keegan Murray, but everything else looked pretty good. And you're thinking, all right, team looked pretty good even though they lost, right? They were up 20. We saw the offense clicking. We saw that, okay, things could be good. And then you go home and you got very lucky to beat the Utah Jazz. Very lucky. And then what happened? Here come the big, bad LA Lakers. Oh, wow. No Luka, no LeBron. Oh, you're going to beat the Lakers. Not so fast. There is a player on the Lakers by the name of Austin Reeves, and he torched you. And the Lakers win 127 to 120, and a record that we all thought you needed to start 2-1 because of the pending schedule. You're now 1-2 after Austin Reeves went off for 51 points. And a starting lineup, again, that didn't have Luka, didn't have LeBron. And the Kings had their 5 on the floor that night of Ellis, Levine, Schroeder, DeRozan, and Sabonis. And they lose 127 to 120. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. You remember the first quarter of that game? I remember it because you gave up 36. And that was the start of Disastersville. Road trip, Oklahoma City lost. Chicago lost. Somehow you beat Milwaukee 135 to 133. The Make 'em Feel as Kings came home and gave up 130. The Golden State Warriors and the Kings played a game that was a scrimmage because nobody was playing. The Make 'em Feel as Kings then gave up 132. The Make 'em Feel as Kings then gave up 144. Then 122, then 133, then 124, then 123, then 113. Then in Memphis, the Make 'em Feel as Kings gave up 137 before somehow, some way, beating the Denver Nuggets 128 to 123 and coming from 10 down with 2:51 left on their home floor in the fourth to win 117 to 112 in, again, an extra frame against Minnesota. Then the Make Us Feel 'em Sacramento Kings gave up 42 points in the first quarter and lost by 12 to Phoenix. The Make 'em Feel as Kings then went to Utah to take on a 5-win team, the Utah Jazz. And the Make 'em Feel as Kings gave up 128. Then yesterday, they lose 115 to 107. What does that whole 5 minutes of talking about the Sacramento Kings tell you? It tells you they are really, really bad. That's what it tells you. And it tells you that they're poorly constructed, that they're poorly coached, and that if you think things are bad, just wait. Because things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. That's just the way it is. I'd love to be wrong, but I haven't been wrong yet this year. I've been wrong before, and I'm fine to admit when I'm wrong, and I have no problem taking the heat when I'm wrong. But I haven't been wrong this year when I said that this was going to be a disaster. I wasn't wrong when I said that Doug was not a head coach. I haven't been wrong yet. I may be wrong. There's a lot of basketball left. I told you the season would be over by Thanksgiving. Not wrong about that. I told you this season would be a disaster. I haven't been wrong about that. Yeah. We at rock bottom yet? I would love to think so, but I can't see how this is rock bottom. I don't see it being rock bottom. And then you add Denver and Minnesota to the schedule. Thanks to this NBA Cup. Whoopie-doo! The NBA Cup. It's almost in its finished product in Vegas. At Houston, at Miami, Indiana home, or Indiana on the road, Denver home, at Minnesota, at Portland, Portland home, Houston home, Detroit home. Guess what, folks? Rock bottom ain't here yet. Rock bottom's going to be right around Christmas. On the 23rd of December, when the kids from Motown come in and walk on your freaking head and are dunking on top of you as if you're glued to the floor with crazy glue. That's when you're going to go rock bottom. Is when the kids from Motown come in. Those Detroit Pistons. That's right, the Pistons, who used to be the Sacramento Kings a short period of time ago. That's right, the Pistons were just as bad as you were. The Pistons were an embarrassment. The Pistons were the laughingstock of the Eastern Conference. That's right, those Detroit Pistons. Those Detroit Pistons now are 16-4. Those Detroit Pistons are 8-2. Those Detroit Pistons got your coach fired last year because your star, De'Aaron Fox, decided that he didn't want to go out and play basic 101 defense and close out on a three-point shooter in the corner. That's right. Those Pistons, those Detroit Pistons, are 16 up and 4 down. So rock bottom's not here yet, boys and girls. Rock bottom's going to be right around Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Rock bottom? No. Not rock bottom. Near the bottom, not rock bottom. Rock bottom's coming, though. It's coming. It will be here sooner than you know. It's on the way. Just wait. But if you think it's rock bottom now, not rock bottom at all. Unfortunately. That's the reality of the situation. Hey, I want to talk to you about heating and air. And maybe right now your system is fine. No issues. May not be the case next week, next month. I hope it is. I hope it's fine. But that's where DAS Mechanical comes in. They're HVAC retrofit and service specialists. They are awesome at that. Again, they are specialists. Yes, they also do new systems. Family owned and operated, locally serving Sacramento and Placer counties. You can schedule everything online at dasmechanical.org. They're awesome. And they're going to walk you through everything they're doing. There's no mystery. You're not going to be wondering, gee, do I need this? Do I need that? They're going to walk you through every single step of the process. It's why they have so many 5-star reviews. It's why they have won numerous Best of the Best awards. Schedule whatever you need online at dasmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. And listen, if you need a new system, remember there are rebates up to $6,000. They have financing options, including 0% interest for 18 months. It's all there for you at dasmechanical.org. Again, HVAC retrofit and service specialist. That's dasmechanical.org. You have a rant for me? Come on, help me out. You got a King's rant you want to do? Call me. Give me a rant. I want to hear your rant. You heard mine. Pick out a topic. Give me a freaking rant. 916-779-0929. You can even give me a rant here on the text line. I'm fine with that. That's next. Fox Sports, Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Need new tires? From now until December 15th, save $100 instantly when you buy a set of 4 Bridgestone Weather Peak tires. Save $70 instantly when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Or buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires and save $70 instantly at Express Tires, 7215 Watt Avenue. Offer valid now through December 15th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See Express Tires for details.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hope you're having a good afternoon. Thank you so much for spending time with us here on Fox Sports Sacramento. 916-779-0929. We say hello to Jerry right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Grant. How are you, sir?
Good, Jerry. What can I do for you, sir?
Hey, Grant, I have a couple questions for you, Grant. First one, why do you think Coach Christie has not reached out to his assistant coaches that have more experience being coaches? Do you think it's just a pride thing?
What makes you think he hasn't? Why would you have any information to that? I'm sure he talks to the coaches all the time. Why would you assume that he's not reaching out for all kinds of information?
Well, I don't know that for sure, Grant, but I mean, there's coaches on that bench that don't you think have more experience about the lineups?
Yes. But I mean, why would you think that there's no dialogue going on? Of course there's dialogue going on. What else, Jerry?
Well, Grant, because I'm seeing a 5-16 record. I mean, what else? Could he be talking about then?
Jerry, there's conversations that go on throughout the game, practice, text messages at 2 a.m. There's all kinds of things that go on an NBA team with dialogue. But here's the reality. Doug Christie's the head coach, not Mike Woodson, not Mike Miller, not Bobby Jackson. It's Doug Christie. And at the end of the day, it's his job to make the decisions. But I guarantee you that he talks to his coaches about different things.
Well, all right, Grant. Fair enough. My second question to you, sir, is this. Why do you think Vivek Ranadive has not fired Doug Christie yet? Is it because that he knows the national media and everybody around it is giving him such a hard time about what the hell's been going on here with this team the past couple of years? Do you think he hasn't fired him because that is what he's thinking, or something else going on behind the scenes?
I would never want to wager what Vivek Ranadive is thinking because it would rarely make sense. So I don't know what he's thinking. What I would say is they're probably right now all under the realistic situation that they're in. They're dealing with reality, and that even Vivek understands that they're going to be awful, and you might as well let Doug ride through the storm and then get a new coach next year, as opposed to bringing another coach into this mess. First of all, there would be nobody that would want to coach this team that had any like credibility behind them. So that's part of it as well. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate the phone call. Have a good afternoon. Rhino, let's get back to some sound from the game last night with Doug Christie.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan got some tick last night with the bench unit, and it actually looked pretty good and caught a few of our eyes. And the question was asked, how do you like that look? Do you like Doug? Doug, do you like DeMar with the bench unit? What does it give him? Here's what he said.
Yeah, DeMar in the second unit is fantastic because a lot of those younger guys, they can depend on him. You can play through him on the offensive end of the floor. And then defensively, they're young and they are flying around, grabbing rebounds, tipping the ball. Their pickup points were nice and high. So it's a blessing to have him when he's able to play in that unit. But sub patterns and different things it's going to be up and down based upon what we're trying to find. Try to find a unit that played well. We did find one in the first half, and unfortunately weren't able to find the same type of intensity and what have you in the second half.
So Rhino, if you don't mind me asking, that means DeMar DeRozan's going to come off the bench starting Wednesday in Houston, right? Because he's so good with the second unit. It's time to make the change. We're 5-16. So let's now take him out of the starting lineup and put him in the second unit, right?
No chance. Zero.
Okay.
Zero
Okay.
chance.
Okay. So what I just heard is just nonsense then, right?
No, I think it might be a little bit of foreshadowing. It could be Doug saying, hey, we see that. We understand it, but we're only 21 games in. Jerry's
only 21 games. The season's a quarter more than 25% over.
Okay.
We're not, do you understand that? And I'm saying this to everyone. I get it. The Kings season now is more than 25% in the books. You know what? Guess what, Rhino? We're now at the not early point anymore. Okay. I said I need 20 to 25 games to get a read on teams. I have a read on the Kings. They're terrible. I have a read on the Phoenix Suns. They're pretty good. Okay. I have a read on Oklahoma City. They're great. I have a read on Detroit. They're really, really good. I have reads on teams. I have reads on the Pelicans. Terrible. Okay. I have a read on the Jazz. Record-wise is not very good, but they play hard every night. And I wish that were the Sacramento Kings team. I wish I watched the Kings play every night the way I watch the Jazz play every night. I've got a read on that team. My read on the Kings is they don't do that every night. They don't do it enough, and they're terrible.
I don't disagree, but we both had the conversation with Jerry Reynolds. He still thinks, maybe right around the All-Star break's the right time. He thinks 30 games is enough for the young guys to take the more prominent role and move some of the other guys into bench roles. But
the All-Star breaks 50 games into the season.
I know.
So
and so that's what's interesting, because Doug last night before the game, this was before the game, was asked basically the question that all of the fan base has been asking us, asking others around the team. All the numbers show that the younger guys, the bench should be playing and the starters should be mixed in with them. This was Doug's response before the game last night.
Listen, man, this job ain't about keeping people happy. That's probably one of the things that you learn quickly. But what I will say is, those young guys are going to earn their minutes. They need to be out there on the floor. We're going to play through their mistakes. And there'll be times where all that balances out, and then there'll be times where it doesn't balance out. And everybody hates Doug. I'm okay with it. It's part of the deal, man. Just keep smiling and be blessed. Yeah.
Now, Grant, here was Doug immediately after the game, asked the same question about the bench digging the starters out of a hole.
Yeah, it's tough. It's the NBA, and some nights you get going and some nights you don't. But the credit, I would, instead of looking at it that way, I'd look at more credit to those guys who came in and really played, hard as heck and just got after it, got us back in the ball game, put us in position to close it out and win it, and just unable to.
So do we want to just start the bench players on the upcoming road trip?
No.
Okay. Well, if you were 5-16, wouldn't you change the starting lineup around?
Yes, I would change the starting lineup around, but I wouldn't do a hockey substitution.
No.
At the
but
starting
Zach
lineup.
LaVine or DeMar DeRozan cannot start together.
Right now,
I'm just sorry.
Right now I would have Zach LaVine coming off the bench.
Okay.
I know the pick before was DeMar DeRozan. Right now it's Zach LaVine.
Why?
I am seeing his offense affecting his defense too much. And this has nothing to do with the fan interaction that went viral over the holiday weekend.
Irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. I just think Zach is not hitting right now on all cylinders. And I don't completely offensively put it all on Zach. I don't think that Doug Christie and the coaching staff are doing Zach any favors by just giving him the ball and saying create. That's not really been Zach's game. It's coming off of a screen. It's in the break, getting a pass and making one move. So it's that 50-50 part. Let him do that with the bench. It gives him a little bit more flexibility, but I do like DeMar with the younger guys because if I have to play through a hub with Domantas Sabonis out, I would rather be DeMar DeRozan than Zach LaVine.
By the way, I didn't have a problem with the fan, what he said, and I don't think he should have been ejected from the game. Why can't you yell at the team? Now, once he stepped off his seat onto the walkway behind the bench, then at that point, security said you need to go sit down. And then if he refuses, which maybe he did, then at that point, he's overstepping his boundary. But I have no problem with yelling, and that goes on in a lot of arenas across the NBA. I don't think he should have been ejected.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't right next to it. I do know I've talked to that fan many times before this. He is a Sacramento transplant. He's from Brooklyn. He is a hardcore Kings fan who fell in love with the love this city has with the team, and that's what's made him a season ticket holder and where he sits.
I love that.
What he said to Zach was really not all that objectionable. He was questioning his defense, and Zach had a response that triggered another response. So it is what it is. I respect the fan for coming out and speaking out. He was back at the game last night, for those that don't know. So all is good there. Zach had a couple of not compliments, but words about it. Basically, we don't care about the noise, but that noise is going to get louder.
I wouldn't care about the noise either if I'm making $48 million a year. You can yell at me all you want.
Yeah, it's very true. Doug was also asked, talking about that second unit that went on a 14-2 run to bring the Kings back from the dead early in the first quarter, why we didn't get to see them back on the court together as a trio.
We were trying to get back to it a couple times, and then they ended up going, I think, big. I'd have to go back and look at the film. It's just sometimes the game dictates how it goes. It's just you want to get back, and then you get a feel, and you're thinking, okay, this is going to work. Guys are going to, and before you know it, it gets away from you a little bit. But I have to go back and look at that. Yeah.
Why do you got to go back and look at the tape? He says that all the time. I don't understand that. I really don't. I mean, I understand you can't recall every single thing that happened in a 48-minute game on the post-game press conference, but it's always, I got to go back and look at the tape. You just watched the damn game. You just coached it. Shouldn't have to go back and look at the tape for breakdowns on what happened, both positively and negatively. I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Is it just his way of not wanting to answer the question?
Look. I don't know. I think that's an easy thing to go to. Let me go see the tape. And
it's a joke.
Really
every
kind of
game.
Figure out what happened. But really what that is Memphis, if you listen and you read between the lines there, Memphis made adjustments to where we could not put that group back on the court because they went to Zach Edey. They kept going big. Now, here's what I would say. We know what Doug's dealing with. He does not have a balanced roster. He has a small roster, which we've talked about, but at least can we get the Doug Christie back that when he became interim head coach for this team last season said, we're going to make you adjust to us. And by golly, the first time he did it, the other team had to adjust. It was actually Memphis. They took Zach Edey out of the starting lineup. I want to get back to that at the very minimum. And that Doug, I think is, it might be a little too much right now, as you've said. And I just, get back to that. Get back to Doug. Be Doug.
It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, listen, Memphis, in the first meeting of the year last weekend in Memphis, they didn't have John Morant. They didn't have Jaren Jackson Jr. And it was maybe the most embarrassing game that the Kings have played this year in the return of Keegan Murray in that game.
Yeah.
And it was, Memphis at that point was a mess. They had only had 5 wins. They had getting blown out. They were being outplayed. And they toyed with Sacramento. They toyed with them.
And
then last night, you get outscored 32-20 in the fourth quarter. 32-20.
And if you're the Kings, that should be a game that's circled.
Yes.
Coming off of what happened to you in Memphis.
Yes.
You know, so it's one of those things. I get the frustration by the fans, and
I do too.
Look, here's okay. Let's look at the glass half full. Here's the positive that I am looking at that I want to see continue growing, and it's the Kings playing through Keegan Murray. That's what I want to see. Yeah, I didn't score a ton last night, but Keegan, you are seeing significant steps in his game. I want to see that through the next 82. He's never going to be a number one. He's not going to be a Jaren Jackson, but he can be a darn good 1B and your best defender, which every team needs in this NBA names.
All right, 916-779-0929. The Patriots already up 10-0. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. A field goal and a punt return for a touchdown. And again, it is 10-0 as they try to go to 11-2 on the season. Again, 916-779-0929. Final segment on this Monday, the first day of December, next here on the Grant Napear Show, Fox Sports, Sacramento.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Welcome to HQ Showgirls, Sacramento's premier adult gentlemen's club. We're the only topless club between Reno and San Francisco serving alcohol, beer, wine, and champagne. All inside over 6,000 square feet of pure excitement. Planning a party or a VIP night? Call our VIP manager now at 916-389-0199 to book your table. Come experience the energy at HQ Showgirls, 851 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento. Open 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and until 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Visit hqnightclub.com, where the night begins and never stops.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant use disorder. Complex family dynamics, financial strain, and cultural expectations can weigh heavily and become a tipping point for those battling the physical and mental effects of addiction. But the holidays can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. They're a chance to take stock of what we have and are thankful for, to remember what's most important to us, and to consider what we can change. The holidays are a time of hope. So this holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the support and company of family and friends, and create special moments. Get started by finding a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org. Find a proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at choosechangeca.org. That's choosechangeca.org.
The holidays are here, and Gabrud Services is here for any electrical need or emergency. Holiday periods put more stress on your home's electrical system, more activity, more lights being used, increased appliance use, and more. Here are 3 holiday electrical reminders from the good dudes at Gabrud's. 1. There's still time for Gabrud's to inspect your home's electrical integrity. 2. Gabrud's are the experts in backup generator installation with flexible financing options to make a whole house generator affordable. And 3. Gabrud's has live call answering 24/7. We're here any time of day, especially in case of an emergency. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. And at the holidays, we're here to ensure your home and family are safe. Locally owned for more than 30 years. Call Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Final segment here on this Monday, 916-779-0929. Let's get to Bob in Citrus Heights. Hello, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Bob.
I want to add to your rant, but I didn't hear it because I was out walking the dog, and I'll tell you, your sidekick is right. It's freezing. This is colder than anything in New York.
Oh, Bob. Are you in Tahoe, Bob, or are you in Sacramento or Citrus Heights?
Citrus Heights.
It's not colder in Citrus Heights than it is in New York. Come on, Bob.
Well, it all depends on. I know I can't answer that, But about the Kings, which I usually want to talk about instead of the coldness. It seems to me that a rant might be good for Coach Christie, and maybe he does. Use a rant when the team needs it. Like when they come out, first of all, they should be ready to play when they hit the court. I don't know who fires them up. This is basketball. I don't know whose responsibility, the team captain, the coach, but they should come out and hear that home crowd, and they should be ready to play. And when they go out and lay an egg like they did, I think it was last Wednesday, and they've done it quite a few times, lose the game basically in the first quarter. I think they should have a timeout, a quick, early timeout, and really get on them.
Doug Christie did do a rant. Doug Christie did give a rant. Unfortunately, it was directed at the wrong people. It was directed at the media and his critics.
I didn't see any of those people go out and play a better game afterwards. I used to coach high school basketball. There's times when you got to get on them. And you know what I'd really like to see? If they come out and they don't play defense after you've taken one timeout and got on them, I'd like to see them take the 5 starters out, put 5 guards in there.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bob.
And just let them run around there and get a bunch of steals.
Yeah, Bob, it's a mess right now, Bob. It's a mess.
Oh, I know it.
Bob,
I know it.
Bob,
it is.
Bob, it's
yes.
Right now where I'm from in New York, it's 37 degrees. You think it's colder than 37 degrees where you are?
Well, now, wait. Yeah, it's 50 here.
Bob,
what's
50 and 37 are a little bit different, Bob. Come on.
I know math.
Bob, I appreciate you and I appreciate your call. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Bob.
I did. Thank you.
You take care. Bye-bye. I love this. This is from the 916. This may be my favorite text since I started doing this show on September 2nd. Grant, my family, who's indifferent to the Kings, asked me why I watch the games if we always seem to lose. I answer by saying, so I can participate in your shows. Love you, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, why don't you read the 631 text, Grant?
Bye-bye. I'm with my dog in the backyard right now, freezing to death. No way, dude. That's from our good buddy Pat in New York.
All right. Well, here's Bob's point. Relatively speaking, so you are habituated to the East Coast weather and what you think cold is, but relatively speaking, it has been pretty cold here in Sacramento. So I have a rule in my house, okay? Here's my rule.
Yeah.
I'll run the AC as much as I want during the summer and rack up the bill, but when winter comes around, I will never touch the heater. I'll just get warmer. I'll put another layer on, whatever in the house. I finally had to turn the heater. I broke it about 51 degrees in the house.
All right. Right now, it's 47 degrees currently in Sacramento. Supposed to get down to 39 over hours, which I would agree for California is cold. I would agree with that.
So, I mean, we're not, hey, you want to talk about babies, go down south. If anything dips below 60, they freak out. Or if it starts raining, you might as well think it's acid falling from the sky.
So in Miami, I want to say 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I can't remember for sure. It might have been 3 years ago. The temperature on Christmas Day was like 60 degrees.
Yeah.
And you would have thought the world was coming to an end. Okay? No, I'm serious. Like, you would have thought that there was a national calamity that had hit South Florida to a point where people didn't even know how to, venture outside in the frigid 60-degree weather. It was unbelievable. I'm like, what's wrong with you people? 60 degrees. The rest of the country would be doing jumping jacks and high fives if where they were right now and it was 60 degrees. So, yeah, I'm with you. The same with San Diego in January. 916 chiming in, live in Winnipeg, Manitoba. If you really want coldest recorded city in Canada. Yeah, Winnipeg. I've never been to Winnipeg in the winter. I only have been there in the summer when I announced the Canadian Football League for 2 years, which, by the way, was one of the great experiences of my broadcasting career, was announcing the Canadian Football League. Man, I love that. I love Canada. Love Canada. Love going to all the cities. Saw the Rolling Stones in Winnipeg. It's pretty amazing. All right, let's get to Big Al. Hi, Big Al.
Mr. Rand Naper, sir, good evening to you. I heard this weather stuff, and I had to chuckle. You know what is legit. I mean, you know what legit. So I sent my son back there. He went to Syracuse. And I said, son, are you sure you want to go to Syracuse? You could have gone for his major to maybe USC or even your area in Ohio. Could have gone there. He says, no, they got a great school for this. Okay, so it was a sports management major. They started up there. So he called us in early October. Grant, it was already starting to have snow flurries.
Yeah.
And most of the weather was down in the 30s.
Yep. I know. I understand. It is brutal upstate New York.
Yeah. So any Sacramento can. Now, okay, so Sacramento born, but also dad transferred. So I was in SoCal. I went to San Diego State. So, yeah, why is there a reason so many people love San Diego? Hello. Because in the wintertime, you can be in high 60s, low 70s for most of the winter.
Yep.
It's gorgeous.
Yep.
Except the traffic will kill you. So anyway, now I answered that question. You were talking about 49ers. I mean, I'm not a 49er fan. I hate to see it. But if they stay away from any more injuries, especially probably to the offensive line, they've got a pretty darn good shot.
I think they probably have as good a chance as anyone, to be honest with you. I don't, even though I would say the Rams are better, they're not head and shoulders better. I could see them winning a playoff game against the Rams. If it were in LA, which it probably would, well, I shouldn't say probably, but if it were, you're going to have 80% 49er fans there. So, I mean, I could see it. I wouldn't rule it out. I ruled it out a couple of weeks ago, and I've kind of changed my mind on this.
Yeah, again, that's why I said maybe only if the injury. I mean, they've already taken the decimating injuries on the defensive side, especially. But anyway, that's it. But I don't want to see it. I'm not a 49er fan. So I didn't hear you talk. If you want to talk to the AFC side, first of all, you could talk. I didn't hear you say anything to Rams. That's not good to go in there and lose like they did. You know, that was a horrible loss. But on the AFC side, do you see really New England being the top, or do you think Denver has a legitimate shot?
I think every team in the AFC that's at the top has a legitimate shot. I think New England's right now the best team in the AFC, and they're already up 17-0 in the first quarter against the Giants. But Denver barely wins games. I mean, look at yesterday, right? I mean, I have to acknowledge that their record only has 2 losses, and the name of the game is to win, and they do that as well as almost any team in the NFL. And I can't just say that doesn't matter. It does matter, but they don't overwhelm me, but I have to give them credit because they are where they are. But I don't think there's some juggernaut of a football team.
Right. Okay. And that's fine. That's fair enough. And I definitely agree with you. And I think Sean Payton's a brilliant coach. They got to get that offense going. They have some great offensive weapons.
Yep.
And Nix is a pretty dang good player. He's top 10 for sure, maybe top 7 quarterback. So
I don't know about that.
Weather could be determined. You don't think he's top 7?
No, right now, no. Bo
12?
Nix, no, he's not even top 10. Bo Nix, top 10 quarterback in the NFL today? No way. No way.
Okay.
Not.
All right.
No.
Well, we'll see how he performs. We'll see if he could be a winner or not. All right.
Well, I didn't. Whoa. Now, wait a minute. Whoa. I didn't say he couldn't be a winner because I think he can be. I'm just saying right now he's not a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're judging by stats and statistics. Sometimes that matters. I mean, they got to get the offense. Peyton's got to get the offense better because Nix has the arm strength, the talent. He can throw the ball well, but in decision making, I thought he only had like 2 or 3 turnovers the whole year, so he's not a ding dong. It's not like, and I love this guy, Marcus Mariota, but or Sam Darnold, the golden boy out of USC, and he's never proven it. Grant, he's just never proven it. So
well, he's going to have an opportunity. He's going to have an opportunity again in January because the Seahawks are going to be in the playoffs, and he's going to have to play a lot better in January than he did last year when he was the quarterback for the Vikings.
Okay, agree on that. And as to the Eagles, I made a joke with something else that I think Thanksgiving cooked them. I think the Eagles got roasted on things. They're not the same team. They got issues.
I would agree. They do not look good. Al, always good hearing from you. Thank you.
Yep, take care.
So you speak about the cold weather, right? So I'm at Bowling Green my freshman year. January 1978, they had the Great Blizzard. And I'll never forget this. So I'm at the fraternity house, and the blizzard was so bad over that part of the United States, but in Northwest Ohio, it was so bad that they had to call the National Guard in the Bowling Green. The effects of the blizzard stopped all water. There was no water. There was nothing. And the parties that we had for the 4 days that the city was shut down was maybe the best week of college that I've ever had. The girls, Rhino, were going outside, getting buckets of snow, melting the snow, and washing their hair with that. That's how they were washing their hair. Because there was no water.
Somehow I knew that story was going to take a U-turn about we didn't need water, we need beer. But they're washing. Hold on, they're taking the buckets of snow, melting it, and washing their hair. What about drinking water? Did you guys do anything about that?
I don't believe so. We didn't need water. We had beer. Matter of fact, there was a I'm trying to think, a market, a store, a bar across the street called Sam B's.
Yeah.
And again, this is 1978, all right? So Sam B's was broken into, and all of their beer was taken out of the cases, right?
Come on.
So there are cases and cases and cases of Little Kings, like it was like ale, Little Kings is what it was called.
Uh-huh.
And we had a Little Kings party that lasted 48 hours. And it was, we didn't have school the whole week. The school was called off the whole week. The blizzard was so bad. I mean, think about this. So bad that the National Guard had to be in town. And it was so cool when all the big, military vehicles come down Wooster Street. And just like, you're like, whoa, wow, that National Guards. And maybe they had to protect Sam B's after all their beer was taken. But yeah, I'll never forget that. That was the winter of 1978, the Great Blizzard. And it was like, Rhino, walls of snow everywhere.
Yeah.
Just completely shut down the city. Incredible.
What do you remember more, the party or the blizzard?
Oh, no, the partying. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll never forget the girls, like, going out and getting snow. We're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, we got to wash our hair. I'm like, okay, good for you. Whatever, you do what you got to do, Rhino. It's called survival.
Especially in college. Are you kidding me?
Especially in college.
Grant, we used to go to Costco for lunch and we'd just eat the samples.
Hey, speaking of like weather, so in the winter quarter, my first class was at 8:30, anatomy, on the other side of campus. And I'll never forget this. You'd wake up, you'd look out the window, and you would either go, or yeah. And you would look at the trees, and if the wind was blowing, and you then looked at the temperature, you're like, nah, not happening. Nah, not doing it. Don't listen to me, young folks. Go to school. Do your work. Don't be Grant Napear. All right?
What'd you say when Bert called and said, "How was class today, son?"
Bert knew better than that. Remind me to share a story with you tomorrow on that topic. Remind me, okay? It's a great story. Thank you, everyone. Have yourself a fabulous rest of the evening. Talk to you tomorrow, 3 o'clock on Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye.
Business owners, Grant Napier's back, bringing Fox Sports Radio to the forefront of sports talk in Sacramento. That means more listeners, more potential customers who could be spending money for your products and services. This is Kurt Bagelman, General Manager for Fox Sports Radio in Sacramento. Grant's back, and his return is an opportunity for your business. Listen, the sports talk audience is a target-rich group of consumers. 80% are employed, nearly 60% earn six-figure incomes, 67% own their homes. Take advantage of the attention Grant's return has generated to tell people where to spend their money. This is a unique opportunity to increase your sales right now. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great commercial message heard by sports fans could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 779-0914. Radio and Grant get results, and we are here to help. Call 779-0914.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouthwatering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580. Or go to elitepower.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.